everybody, and welcome to F1 Tonight Netherlands. And here we are this evening. We are here for Season 6, Race 9 at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And joining me in the commentary box is, as always, my dear friend and colleague, Adrian. Good evening, Adrian.
Evening, Eddie. A pleasure to be alongside you, as always.
Of course it is. That goes without saying, isn't it? Only pulling the other guy. Okay, so shall we have a look through this rather interesting Drivers' Championship as it stands at this moment in time? So, leading the way is Nicky Visser on 134 championship points. Second is Bas den Bruijn on 85. Third is Dami Hartmann on 83. Then we have 4, Hans van der Berg on 80. 5, Boy Williamson, 69. 6, Marcel Dronig, 61. 7, Zander Hermans, equal with his teammate, 61. John Donkel, 8 on 47. 9 is Guido Urschen, also on 47. Yul Tyson, the new driver, moves up from 15 to 10 with 32. And then we have 11, Mark Stappers. 12, Jamie Carlane. 13 is Peter Phillips. 14, Sil de Wit. 15 is Nishay Mahadra Singh. 16, Miguel Tourney. 17, Martin Parder Cooper. 18, Paul Correa. 19, Marcel France. And 20 is the Invisible Man.
Decent driver, so I hear.
Yeah, I've heard he's pretty good, but he hasn't scored many championship points so far. Okay, so, Nicky, look at that. 134 points. Well, he's basically 50 points ahead, 2 race wins of his next best rival, Bas den Bruijn, and we're on race 9.
Yep, yeah, indeed. Although one could argue his form isn't fantastic of late. Hasn't scored very many points in the last couple of races.
Well, that is very true, but I don't know. Baz is always there, though, isn't he, to be fair?
Yep. Yeah, I expect Baz to keep that fight up probably to the end of the season. But then you've got Dami Hartmann and Hans van der Berg, just 3 and 5 points behind him, respectively.
Yeah, indeed. It is very, very close. I mean, certainly from that second down to fourth, and even Boy Williamson there, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Yep. Dami had a brilliant race at where were we last week? France. Tried to think.
And that was the Paul Ricard circuit. The Gilles Villeneuve was the one the week before.
Correct. I expect Dami to again to also bring that fight to Visser for to try and defend his championship. Obviously, reigning champion Dami.
Indeed, we were saying last week, obviously, great to see Dami back on form effectively, but it was where he started to sort of shine through in Season 5 as well, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. He's a fast driver anyway. He has scored a couple of wins, or he scored a few wins before winning that championship in Season 5. He'd scored 1 or 2 in Season 4 from memory. But Season 5 was certainly his season, no doubt. The start of this season hasn't been fantastic for him. But it's good to see him sort of back on the right track, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have a look. How close is it from 5 down to 9 as well?
Yeah, that midfield battle is really going to sort of heat up, especially with the likes of drivers like Yul Tyson. He's relatively new. He's very new to the
he is new.
To the championship.
Look at that. I mean, he's from 15th from last week, second race, moves up to 10th, 32 championship points.
Yep, exactly. And obviously with a dominating win at France last week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely fantastic result from him. But, let's have a look at the second half of the Drivers' Championship. But it's close there as well. I mean, obviously, we got the guys towards the end, unfortunately, who, for various reasons, haven't been able to attend the races, which are the Alfa Romeos, and Paul Correa, I think, hasn't really had a great run, and Marcel France hasn't attended any races. We send all our best wishes to Marcel France and his family as well, by the way. But Nishay Mahad was seeing Sil de Wit, new driver, already on 21 championship points. But it's really close on that sort of 11 to 15 as well, isn't it?
Yeah, very close. Obviously, only 10 points between them. But yeah, I know I mentioned the new drivers a moment ago, Neil Tyson. But yeah, Sil de Wit, again, he's another one who's really impressed me so far in the very few races that he's been with us for. He's already up to 21 points, and I expect that to rise dramatically come the end of the season. Certainly see him in the top 6 overall in the championship.
I think it's a very, very likely prospect, actually. So let's have a look how that reflects in the Constructors' Championship. And obviously leading the way, Red Bull on 203 points. Then we have Toro Rosso on 163. McLaren are on 132 in third. 4th for Rocket Williams on 122. Then Ferrari are there in 5th with 72. 6 are Mercedes. 7 Renault, 8 Haas, 9 Alfa Romeo, and 10 Racing Point. As always, obviously, we can see that Drivers' Championship reflected in the Constructors as well. But Toro Rosso are edging ever closer to Red Bull, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's a bit tighter in the Constructors than it is in the Drivers' Championship. Obviously, that's the result of Hans and Damie both giving each other a run for their money. I think there's only 2 points between them. We sort of, or was it 3 points? There's 3 points between the two. Yeah, I mean, obviously you got Nicky Visser out 50 or so points ahead, but his teammate Boy Williamson, he just hasn't had a very good run of form. I think that's what's going to be crucial come the sort of the later races. And
McLaren as well, though, they're still very much in the game. But Rocket Williams, they're edging closer as well. It's just it seems to be a lot tighter within this Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's good to see Williams up there as well. You know, Marcel Dronig, he's really sort of upped his game from last season. Don't know where that pace has come from, but yeah, we've frequently seen him in the podium spots during the race, and obviously Sander Hermans as well. You know, you can't say he's carrying that team because he's absolutely not. It's definitely 50-50 at Williams.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And then obviously we can see Mercedes and Ferrari, a bit of a difference there between them in obviously 5th and 6th, and then we drop down to Renault and Haas. But yeah, definitely still a lot of points to be gained in this championship, and a lot of things could change on this Constructors' board, couldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is we're far from the end of the season just yet. It's only round 9, 12 more races to go after this one. So yeah, plenty of points up for grabs.
Okay, so let's now have a look at the track itself, the Red Bull Ring here in Spielberg in Austria. Don't you know? Lederhosen, wonderful. Anyway, so that is the track. First sector, obviously, starts on the start-finish line, finishes, better do the circuit length first, 4.381 kilometres, race length 300. Do you know, I always forget that. And 71 laps. Yeah, it is amazing. Okay, so first sector takes us from the start finish up to between turns 2 and 3. Second sector then takes us from there down to between turn 6 and 7, and the final sector then comes around and finishes on the start finish line. Okay, DRS points. Well, quite a few here. First DRS detection point is on that straight and activates just after the pit exit, round corner 2 towards corner 3. The second detection point is just before corner 3. That activates more or less on the exit of 3, bringing you down to 4. And then the third and final detection point is out of turn 9, and that activates as you come down the straight on the start-finish line. Adrian, I mean, we were discussing obviously the track before we went on air, and I was saying that, you know, to me it's just a glorified karting track. And you know, I don't think I'm being harsh when I say that in any way, shape or form. I also said it's my least favourite track because to me it's the least challenging. Okay, I can probably waver a bit of that. I mean, what are your feelings?
Yeah, I think it's pretty challenging in the wet around Austria, and I have to say it looks like we might be in for a bit of a wet spell at some point in this race. It looks a bit dark and gloomy on track.
Well,
just here at the moment.
We are in the wonderful Austrian hills.
Indeed.
So, you know, I can hear the sound of music in the background and the cowbells. Go on.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was just going to say, I don't know if you know this about the Austrian Grand Prix, actually. So it holds a bit of a strange statistic. It's the only circuit where more than 50% of the circuit is DRS zones.
Yeah, well, really? I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah.
Not. I've got to say, 3 DRS zones, I've got to say, in my opinion, is total overkill. But I just want to go through these corner names, and the only corner that I really want to pay any attention to, and I'll probably make reference to during the race, is going to be the Lauda curve, or the Niki Lauda curve, named after that fantastic racing driver who unfortunately passed away earlier this year. He actually won here in 1984 during his third and final championship win. So that was when he last raced here, and I guess, you know, great thing to remember by naming that corner. Quickly run through the others. Turn 3 is the AMS AMG corner, and by the way, for any listeners out there, let's see if you can actually figure out the theme around the corner names. So corner 3 is the AMS AAG, 4 is Raunch, 6 is Pirelli, 7 is the Worth curve, 9 is Rindt, which is RINDT, and 10 used to be the Red Bull Mobile corner, but it's now has a most wonderful name. It's called the Cashback World Corner.
Rolls off the tongue.
It does, doesn't it? It does really roll off the tongue. The Cashback World Corner. So I won't be making any reference to that. You can absolutely rest assured, I can guarantee you on that one. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just get ready to go across to the actual race itself, and the queue is underway. Adrian, if you could run through our runners and riders while I get that going, please, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries. So in the Toro Rossos, we've got Hans van den Berg and Demi Hartmann, both drivers participating tonight. In the Alfa Romeos, nearly called them Saubers. In the Alfa Romeos, we've got Martin Cooper and Miguel Torni. Again, both drivers with us. John Donkel and Mark Stappers, they make up the Ferraris. Basden Brien and Guido Urshan, who we weren't actually sure if he was going to be racing, but it seems he is racing with us tonight, thankfully. So they're the 2 McLaren drivers. Peter Phillip, he's racing alone in the Haas tonight. No Paul Courret tonight. Who else we got? Nicky Visser and Boy Williamson, both in the Red Bulls. Obviously, Nicky leading the championship at the moment by more than 40 points. Hopefully, Boy can get his good run of form back. Obviously, he is a great driver. He's just not really had very much luck in these races. Jamie Colleen in the Mercedes. His teammate Yul Tyson, he will be with us a bit later on, so he won't be participating in qualifying, unfortunately.
So he'll be starting in P15 then, obviously.
He will be starting at the back. Sander Hermans racing alone in the Williams. No Marcel Dronig tonight. And that is the grid.
Oh, very nice too. We're actually in Q1 at this moment in time. More of a practice session, obviously, because all 14 of the drivers will go through, as you make reference to, obviously, on every transmission. But yeah, I like to keep people informed. For those of you that already know, tough. Okay, so Q1, normally you'd have 20 drivers, which is the full grid. From 20 drivers, you'd go down to 15. So the top, or rather the slowest 5, would be relegated, and they would be starting in those positions from 16 to 20. Then in Q2, you take those 15 drivers And at the end of Q2, you lose another 5 drivers. So that's from 11 to 15. And the top 10 go then through to the Q3 session to see who sets the fastest lap, who gets that pole, and then obviously the subsequent positions behind. And at this moment in time, Sil de Wit has the fastest time on track with a 105.413. Nicky Visser out on track at the moment. He's got a 105.908. And then we've got the 2 Ferraris, John Donkel, 106.2, and his teammate Mark Stapper's 106.9. And then we have Martin Paardenkoper in the Alfa Romeo, 107.5. Damie Hartman out on track now, 113.0. Hans van der Berg coming into the pits, as is Guido Urschen. We're on board now with Baz and Brown as he's coming down towards turn 9, the penultimate corner. So the guys are going for it out there, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, it seems a couple of them are at least. Yeah, there's good times there. 105.4. In fact,
106.7 just from Baz and Brown, so that puts him in provisional 5 there.
Yeah. But yeah, Nicky only a blink of an eye behind Sil de Wit. Who actually, I need to make a correction. I didn't mention that Sil de Wit was racing. He is obviously racing because he's currently in provisional P1.
Indeed.
In this session. It's his teammate Nisha Mahadra in the other Renault who will not be with us tonight, unfortunately.
Well, let's go on board actually with Zander Hermans on his on a fast lap here, just so you get a feel of how this track actually looks from the well, more or less from the driver's perspective, a little bit higher up there, if you like, the head cam, so to speak. But, oh, this was another one I was going to mention, actually, while we got this on. Jamie Collane, you sent me a rather interesting picture of how Mr. Collane is actually going to be driving this evening, Adrian.
Yeah. We weren't too sure if he was actually going to be participating in tonight's race. But, you know, he has chosen to participate, albeit with what looks like a broken arm or wrist.
Yeah, I think it's a wrist. I've got to say, if his doctor catches him doing that, he's probably going to have an epileptic fit, isn't he?
I think he might. Yeah, but you know, fair play to him for turning up. I just hope he doesn't do himself more damage, because this is a long race. It's going to be an hour and a half. It's going to be intense, and hopefully his steering wheel sort of plays ball with him, doesn't give him too much grief.
Yeah, hopefully so. Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's what you call dedication. That is, he's got his wrist in plaster, basically. It looked to me, isn't it?
Yeah, I just thought so. It's, I wouldn't want to be doing it, but here we are.
Each to their own. Zander Hermans, who we were on board there, he's taken a P5 with a 106.4. Baz den Bruin, interestingly enough, he's in that P6 with a 106.7, but he's opted for the medium tyres. Now, that would suggest to me that on the softs, he'd be probably looking around about a 105.2.
Yeah, 7 or 8 tenths between the soft and the medium tyres.
Oh, I thought it was a bit more than that, actually. It could be. Yeah, it could be. I have to double check. I think I'm right there. 7 or 8 tenths. Oh, right. Okay. Now, the other one for this is a strategy. Obviously, 71 laps. What do? Do you overfuel on a track like this? Because there is a lot of speed here that can be carried and taken, or do you underfuel?
Well, anyone that knows me will know that I tend to underfuel more than overfuel at most tracks. This Austrian Grand Prix, this circuit even, it's a circuit of two halves really, because you've got that first half, so from the last turn, if you like, up until the end, up until turn 4.
3. Oh, 4. Turn, yeah, 4. Yeah,
4 really, but 3 not really.
Yeah.
You've got that, which is it's pretty much all straight, because those are your 3 DRS zones. Those are the you know.
That's
those
true.
Are the straight fast sections. So yeah, you can crank up the fuel mix to rich for pretty much all of that. Stick it in mode 4 on the ERS for pretty much that entire time, and then the rest of the circuit you can be in lean and in mode 0. So I mean, I think there's benefits to both overfueling and underfueling. It's just where you think you can make up the most time, whether you can gain more on the straights than other drivers or in the turns. That's just going to depend on your setup and the way that you, in particular, drive your car.
I guess so. And I've got to say, if it was me, I would probably tend to actually overfuel, knowing that I've got that extra oomph, so to speak.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree. Even though I'd normally favour underfueling, for me, I think more can be gained from overfueling and overclocking the engine, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's because this track is incredibly fast. I mean, I don't know. The speed trap, I believe, is actually as you're coming down towards turn 4 on this track, but it's got to be surely one of the fastest tracks, bar, say, probably something like Azerbaijan. Well, the fastest track is typically Monza. But again, Azerbaijan's another track of two halves, isn't it? You have a very fast second half of the track. But I think, as I said, there's much more to be gained from overfueling than underfueling here. What about tyres? Obviously, we've seen most of these guys go out in Q1 on the softs. We've seen a few go out on the mediums. Baz Brand's gone out. Guido Urschen out on track at the moment, just really taking his time, getting a real sort of feel in there. I don't think he's in any rush. We've seen those. We haven't seen the hard compound tyre. Is the hard compound tyre an option here, do you think?
Yeah, I'd have thought so. Again, there's not too many demanding corners, so I don't think there's very much to be lost from running the hard tyre for long periods of time. Although, having said that, it's quite a short pit stop from start to finish, so you can potentially gain from running what I like to think of as a more aggressive strategy, perhaps a 2 or even a 3 stop strategy. Using the soft tyre 2 or 3 times. And then onto the medium. And then onto the mediums. Yeah, you can be, and I must agree with you here, this is a track that does lend itself to an aggressive strategy. And as crazy as it sounds, because, I mean, it is quite a long pit lane, to be fair, entry, exit, and lane itself. But you can do that. It is a possibility here because you can gain that time. But you've got to be on the ball. I mean, if you're going to do that sort of aggressive strategy, you've got to be in the top 3 fastest drivers on that track. Yeah, and it also requires you to push the car hard every lap, which it's a real test of a driver's stamina to be able to do that. Despite the pit lane being fairly long, as you said, it does actually cut 2 corners. I mean, that's 20% of the track. Yeah. I mean, you're cutting the final turn and turn 1, and turn 1's it's fairly slow. I was going to say it though. I mean, how long is that? Just trying to think. It's quite fast. What is it? About 22 seconds. The pit stop here? I don't know. I think it might even be under 20. Yeah. I think it's very long at all. So, but proportionally to the time it takes to complete that section, normally when you're racing, it's quite small. Well, there are a number of drivers out on track. They're not exactly pushing it. We're on board with Mark Stappers now. I think he's giving it a little bit more aggression, although he is woefully down on time there, I think. Is he, or not? Well, actually, he's not looking too bad, I think. Just saw some rather large plus numbers when he was coming into Sector 3. Yeah, it is some rather large plus numbers there, actually. Jamie Collane's had an incident. He's off the track at the moment. Oh, God, yeah, he has. And that's spinning out of turn 3. That's something we're going to see, isn't it? Because when you come out of that sort of hairpin of 3 onto that straight, you're laying down your power, and then you've got that DRS, which you open up. You can lay down too much power, and the car's... It's not unknown for a car to veer off there, or indeed if you lay the power down too early on the exit of 3. Yeah, that's right.
You're
Yeah,
going to go into the barrier on the right-hand side.
Yeah, it's most commonplace for drivers to actually lose control. Yeah, just opening up the throttle a bit too much. The exit of turn 3 is also it's uphill as well, so drivers have a tendency to try and accelerate that little bit earlier. You know, it might just be subconsciously, but they are trying to. They might be feeling that they're losing too much time to the driver ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll just put the hammer down and typically losing the spin off.
I've got to say though, I mean, I was saying obviously it's not a technically challenging track earlier. Okay, maybe I was a little bit strong there, but I don't know. Anyway, but there are 2 corners which I do find tricky, and if you get them right, you can gain so much. And the first one is turn 4. Because if you get that right on your entry, you get that perfect exit where you can really put the throttle down and work up those gears. It's great, but if you get it wrong, it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that turn 4 especially, I find quite difficult to get right. I've been actually watching some other sort of esports races just to see how they approach that corner. Drivers like TRO Limitless, for example, actually take a bit more of an outside line, more of a go-karting line, in fact, into that bend.
That's a surprise on a track like this.
Yeah. If you can believe it.
No, surely not.
But
that does make sense, actually. It does make sense, because what you're not relying on the braking power so much. Then you're basically how can I put it? Relying on the deceleration of the car by your approach into the corner.
Yeah, and it also allows you to sort of throw the car into turn 5 as well, that left-hand bend. By taking the outside approach, you can then swing to the outside again on the right-hand side, and then cut in. You get a much sort of smoother line, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other one, I've got to say, yeah, I mean, obviously turn 5 is pretty straightforward. Turn 6, that's another one. You've really got to watch the exit on 6. You have to hit those rumble strips to get the best out of it. But it's a very fine line between those rumble strips and that green line and you going off the track.
Yeah, absolutely. What I've found myself at turn 6 actually is that you can actually open up the steering quite a lot earlier than you might first think. I mean, I've managed to sort of shave off about 3/4 of a second of my lap time just by doing that, by just stopping my turn to the left that little bit sooner and just clipping that rumble strip on the right hand side. Rather than
there is a lot to be gained there, but it seems to be that you hit the rumble strip and there's like 2 levels of that rumble strip. You've got the I can deal with this rumble strip effect, and then you've got the what the hell's going on rumble strip effect if you go too far to the right.
Yeah, the rumble wall.
Yeah, it is horrible, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I really don't like the sausage curbs that many of the tracks at all, actually. But yeah,
my favourite corners are got to be the last 3, 8, 9, 10. I love those corners. You've got to be brave, but if you are brave, God, can you gain on those?
Yeah, a bit of a roller coaster section as well. That sort of big dipper into turn 10.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, the exit of 9 is so critical. As you come in 10, because you've got to be right over on the left-hand side to really take 10 at the sort of the rate of knots that you want and not go off on the exit. So there we have, those are our drivers now. They've completed the Q1 session. They will be going now into Q2, but interestingly enough, Sil de Wit maintained and kept that 105, which he set right on early doors, didn't he?
Yeah, you're really well done. Again, we know that drivers are using this session as a bit of a glorified practice. Don't want to take anything away from the guys at the top there, but you're never entirely sure of what the drivers are planning. But all credit to Sil de Wit. Interesting that the both Red Bulls had almost exactly the same time as well. So I wonder if they're carrying probably the exact same setup as each other.
Very possible, because we know there is good cooperation certainly within the Red Bull team, so that wouldn't necessarily surprise me. Let's have a quick look now at see. Everyone's gone for the soft option here in this Q2 at this moment in time. We might see some changes to that, but in all sincerity, it's not really a great surprise on this track, is it?
No, Vanderberg actually on the medium tyres.
Oh, he has, yeah. He's changed. He has gone on to the mediums. It's worth giving it a go, but I've got to say, if you're going to give it a go, surely it's better to give it a go towards the end of the session rather than at the beginning.
What the medium?
Yeah.
It depends really. I mean, some drivers like to see if they can squeeze through on the medium, and then if they find themselves in trouble in the last sort of 4 or 5 minutes, then they might jump onto the soft just to ensure that they get through.
I must admit, maybe it's just me being a bit, but yeah, I would be inclined to probably go out on the soft, set a fast time as well. Obviously, that's the name of the game. Come in, go onto a medium, and then give it a go, and then I suppose leave myself enough time. I suppose it ultimately depends on the time that you set, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, and normally drivers won't ever beat their soft time on the medium tyre, so for me it makes sense to go out on the slower tyres first and save the fast ones for the end.
That's a very good point, actually, Adrian. One which I totally missed, and makes me sound like a complete and utter numpty.
Absolutely not, no.
But yeah, I should have thought of that. It's just brain did not engage at that point, I'm afraid, my friend.
Oh, that was a case of not seeing the wood for the trees.
Yeah, it was pretty much. Yeah, absolutely. We're on board with Damie Hartman. He's on his fast lap now, just coming up to turn 3. Nicely executed, very nicely done, actually. That's a real smooth turn 3 there. Let's have a look how he does into turn 4. Coming down that hill now. Really hard braking, hits that apex on the exit, but he's not really winding it up round there, is he? To me, he seems to be. That's a bit of an area where he's losing a bit of time there.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit. He's second fastest in the first sector. Only 4 drivers across that, 6 drivers across that line. He's now third fastest.
Yeah, I mean the first sector was good, I've got to say, definitely. But let's have a look how he does here. Just about stays on track there, and he sets a 105.828. So Damie Hartman opens up with a 105.828 on those soft compound tyres. His teammate Hans van der Berg is just coming round 8 now. Oh, nearly goes into the back there, I think.
That was Paardekoper.
That was Paardekoper, wasn't it?
Yep.
He seemed to have lost it out of 7 into 8. That has obviously compromised his fast lap there. Let's see what he can do, though. Yeah, definitely compromised. 109 there. Yeah, really took it out of him. Zander Herman sets a 105.8. John Donkel, provisional first, was a 105.7, but that's just been beaten by Jamie Collane with a 105.6 in the Mercedes.
Yeah, and with an injury.
Yeah, Miguel Torney sets a 107.5. Let's have a look down to Baz and Brian. He's just coming down round 9 now.
Boy, Williamson just set the fastest first sector on his first attempt.
Well, then Brain's looking good here, I've got to say.
Brain is.
Yeah, 105.4. Puts him in provisional first in this Q2 session. Miguel Torney. Verstappen sets a 106.7.
Urshan good in the first sector as well, second fastest.
Still De Witt, 110.6, not what he was looking for. Urshan just coming round turn 4 now. Now that was a good one. Yeah, definitely good.
Well, Williamson 2 tenths down in the middle. He was fastest in the first. Down in the middle. What's the last sector like?
Let's have a look. He's coming round over the line now. It's a 105.5, puts him provisional P2. Urshan just coming down round 9 now.
I think Guido's going to go P4 by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Or 5.
I don't know. Yeah, it could be 5. It's going to be a 105 high. 105.8. So that puts him P6 provisionally. All the rest of the drivers are in the pits. Everyone else is going to be coming into the pits. So, interesting first run there. Nobody quite matched that 105.4 from De Witt, though. He did a 105.413. Obviously, then Brown has done a 105.453. But that was just the first lap, and we will expect these times to come down. Do you think we're going to see a high 104? I think there's a strong possibility of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that the 105 barrier will be broken. I think we'll see high 104s in Q3. Perhaps not in this session, but yeah, in the
this is
final
staying
one.
out. So is he going for another fast lap?
I believe he might be. He hasn't got very much in the engine, ERS wise, but he's still in mode 5. So
it might be enough to get him round, and if he dials it down round 3 and 4, it might help him out there.
Now, Eddie, I don't really see what there is to gain from doing another hot lap here, because all he's doing is wearing out the tyres that he's ultimately going to have to start the race on. So unless he's going to come in after this, do another one, and pretty much guarantee that he beats that time, so he can start on the fresh softs.
Does he just does he relegate these to possible race softs?
Yeah, well, he's still pushing, so he's actively
pushing,
trying
definitely.
to beat his 5.6, which he will. This is a faster lap, although the first sector left something to be. He's gone wide.
No, and he's done it again. He's done it again, and that's where he lost it on the previous lap. Was right on that exit of 9, and he's just carrying. Well, he's just not being brave enough. I know it sounds horrible, but it's not. But he's got. When you, how can I put it? When you commit to that turn 9, you've really got to commit to really steering hard right on there, and it is scary as hell.
Yeah, he also didn't really commit to actually coming into the pit, because he turned in very, very late. It went out round the outside.
He just completely fluffed turn 9.
Yeah, what he did is he messed up the turn, and then tried to abort it at the last minute and dive into the pit, and actually cut across the grass between the track and the pit lane to get into the pit in time.
Well, he's done 3 laps on those softs, so not ideal. Damie's out on 5 lap old softs now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what all this pushing the tyres so much in Q2 is quite about.
Well, that would suggest to me that they've got a very aggressive tyre store. So these guys are going to have probably 3 sets of softs and a couple of mediums.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's a viable strategy to pit in, say, at lap 7, and then maybe run on to soft medium after that.
Well, Damie's taking care of those tyres. He's not winding up. So he's really getting himself lined up for a fast lap. Let's have a look on board. But he's got no ERS. He's run out of fuel. Or is he trying to get around before he runs out of fuel? I think he's going to... Yeah, he's hobbling around there. So he's going to be coming into the pit. Sander Hermans is out on track at this moment in time on a fast lap. Just coming round 9.
Parder Cooper's improved his first sector, although it wasn't too
going to
tidy
be a
around 3.
Ooh, I don't think it's going to be a better time. No, it's not. It's a 106. He's already set a 105.8.
It's very, very close in the top 10 drivers. Only 3 tenths separating them.
Yeah, absolutely. It is incredibly close. It's going to be the first man that breaks that 105, really.
Parder Cooper up again in the middle sector. Oh, he's gone a bit wide at, was that turn 6? 8?
Yeah, out of 7 into 8, or round 8. He's just coming round 10 now. Not a faster lap. Well, faster lap, no.
It's the first valid lap that he's sent.
108.4. Peter Phillips, he's out on track, just come out 6, going into 7 now.
Stafford's actually fastest in the first sector. 16.0, 037.
Has he got that downforce dialed down for those fast straights?
His exit out of 3 wasn't brilliant. I saw the rear wheels just slide
Cooper
around
comes
a little
across
bit.
with a 106.0, puts in provisional P11. He is in that drop zone. Remember that from 11 to 14, as you can see them now, they will be dropped at the end of this session. So Sil de Wit has quit on a 105.7. That's that's a bit dangerous, isn't it?
I think he's actually crashed out because his time is faster than some of the drivers that are ahead of him.
Oh yes, yes it is. Yeah.
So I think what that's saying is he's going through, but he won't be able to participate in Q3.
Well,
so he'll be starting P10.
Now the thing here is these guys need to break that 106. Peter Phillips is looking good for the man at this moment in time that can probably get the closest. Mark Stappers, Miguel Torni, Martin Paardenkoper. Yeah, not easy.
Absolutely not. Stappers, his lap ultimately was a 6.2, by the way, despite
Phillips
having that purple first sector.
Yeah, Phillips Sports comes into the pits. Stappers is coming down towards 4 now. Pretty clean, round 4.
Paardenkoper a 10th down on the, 3/10 down on the pole sitter. Oh, on the Basden Brien.
Oh no, Stappers has aborted this one. Miguel Torni in the pits. Paardenkoper is out on track. Yeah, he's just coming round now. He's going past Stappers down into 9.
It's not enough. This is not going to be enough to get him through.
No, and he's gone off track anyway. I think. Did he manage to keep one wheel on? No. I don't think
the lap's still valid, but I don't think it's fast enough.
So 106.8. No, it isn't fast enough. There's just under 3 minutes remaining of this Q2 session, and these guys here are fighting to try and see if they can get through to the third final Q. Well, Paardenkoper, he's got to take at least a second off his time there. Well, over a second actually, isn't he? He's got to take about 1.2, 1.3 off there, really. And Peter Phillips has actually gone out. I don't know if that's on track or whether he actually quit out in pits.
I think that's on track because we've got yellow flags in sector 3, although I can't quite see where he is.
Well, Stappers is just coming into 4 now. He's going for another run here.
Vanderberg starting his hot lap. Improvement in the first sector, but not by much.
And Stappers takes it too wide. Out of 6, goes off, gets thrown off by that rumble strip to the left, ends up in the grass, just ahead of turn 7. He's obviously waiting for somebody to come past him. I don't know who that is. Yeah, oh, that was actually the Williams, I think.
It's going to be a good lap from Vanderberg, looking like a 105.6-ish.
Hans Vanderberg, yeah. I think it might be under. Ooh, 105.57. Nice run there. Puts him into provisional P2 in this Q2 session. That's rather interesting.
Strange that it's actually the exact same time as Visser, and it's put in P2 rather than P3 because Visser set that time first.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Look at that. Yeah, 105.569. Yeah, both exactly the same time in the sister teams there. Nicky Visser in the Red Bull and Hans Vanderberg in the Toro Rosso. That's interesting.
Still got drivers in the pits.
Visser I don't think they're going to be coming out.
On 4 lap old tyres.
Stappers is in the pits, Paardenkoper's in the pits, Torni's in the pits. They're not going to be coming out. Phillips has quit, so that's it basically as far as I can tell.
Yeah, so Visser and Damien Hartmann both starting the race then on very old tyres, 4 and 5 laps complete.
Well, let's have a look. Visser was 3 laps, wasn't it?
No, Visser, I'm showing him, has done his fastest lap on 4 lap old softs, and Damien Hartmann 5 lap old softs for fastest lap.
So basically, you can add another lap on there because obviously the in lap. So they've done 5 and 6 laps respectively on those softs that they're starting the race with.
Yeah.
Interesting. That is going to that will come into play, but it does suggest, as I said earlier, it's going to be a super aggressive strategies that we're going to see here, I think, tonight.
Yeah, I mean they could be doing it so that they have to pit fairly early to perhaps get away from the traffic.
Could be. Well, let's have a quick look at the drivers as they sit. So, row 5, P10 will be Sil de Witt in the Renault. Alongside him will be Peter Phillips in the Haas. Row 6, P12, Mark Stapper's in the Ferrari. Alongside him, Martin Parder-Cooper in the Alfa Romeo. And then row 7, P14 will be Miguel Torni in the Alfa Romeo. And alongside him in P15 will be the Mercedes of Yul Tyson. Sorry, not Sil de Witt actually goes through. Sorry, I do apologise, I got that wrong. But anyway, Sil de Witt, he's in the top 10 shootout. Sander Hermans, Guido Urshan, John Dunkel, Damie Hartman, Jamie Collane, Baz Den Breen, Nicky Visser, and Boy Williamson. So they are all in this top 10 shootout.
Apart from
it has come. Who are you going to call?
I think it's not going to be De Witt on pole because he's not participating in this session.
Oh, he's not. Sorry, he's out. Sorry, he did get through. He crashed, so he's out, So, who's it going to be?
I think I'm going to call for pole position here. I think it's going to be Boy Williamson.
I'm going to go for Damie Hartman.
Yep, I think either one of those could do it. In fact, either one of probably... Well, all of these drivers have potential to take pole position. It was so close in Q2 as we saw only 3 attempts between all of these drivers.
Unsurprisingly, they're all on fresh softs. Boy Williamson, first man out on track. And this is Q3, 11 minutes of this Q3. This will decide the top 10 on the grid. And I can guarantee you that it's going to be very, very close indeed, isn't it, Adrian?
Yes. If that last qualifying session was anything to go by, I'd say this will be, this is anyone's game.
So we will watch attentively. We would expect, obviously, the faster laps to be set towards the end of the queue as the track gets rubbered down. So let's see what Boy Williamson can do for his opening lap, and I think it's a worthwhile going on board moment. So over the start-finish line, going uphill towards that hard right turn 1. Watch the exit. You've got the DRS activation there, coming on a level now. Start to go uphill round turn 2. DRS detection. Round 3, watch your exit, don't lay down the power too early. Nice one. Second DRS though, out of turn 3, leading you down towards turn 4. See how he takes the approach here. Yep, nicely done. Round 5, into that downhill left 6 now. Watch your exit, get over on that left hand side, lay down the power. Left into 7, stay straight. Ride the curbs round 8. Now building up speed towards 9, and this is the one where you need to commit, really commit into that corner there. And the same here into the final turn 10. This is looking a very good time indeed, I've got to say. To 105.8, so that's respectable. That is respectable.
Yeah, Baz is going to be here, I think.
Yeah, Nicky Visser set to 105.4.
5-0 from Baz.
Baz Den Breen 5.05. Hans van der Berg is coming round 7 into 8 now. Can van der Berg better it?
Urshan's just done 105.6.
He has. Fantastic run there from Urshan.
McLaren Red Bull, and now Hans around the last corner.
105.3 puts him into provisional P2. Breaks it up there. John Donkel in the pits. Damie Hartman's coming round now. 105.7 puts him in provisional P5. Row 3.
Lost 4 tenths in the middle sector, did Damie.
He can better that, definitely. Sander Hermans coming down into 4 now in that Rocket Williams. We've seen some good qualifying sessions from Hermans. But it hasn't... I mean, he's got through, obviously, to the top 10, but not quite delivering as I think he'd like to here in this Red Bull Ring track.
No, not really. It's not quite gelling for him at the moment. It will be coming in this lap. He's got no ERS, and this lap is invalid. So yeah, he's got time. He's got plenty of time to get out there and do a few more laps. Hopefully, it will come together for him. Expect to see him on the front row, to be honest. Thunder.
Hans van der Berg in the pits. Nicky Visser still out. Looks like he's pushing as well. And he's got his teammate ahead of him, actually.
Visser is a 10th down on his own time in the first sector. Let's see what his others are like. Yeah, a bit of team tactics going on here in Red Bull.
I think there is. I think there are toes coming. And
he's down in the middle.
Come into the pits, so he's going to be getting in his car ready for the start of this race. Yep. Nicky Visser is in. Boy Williamson is now going on a fast lap. I just want to have a look at tyres here, because again, Boy Williamson, he's already on 3-lap-old tyres. By the time he's done this, he'll be 4-lap-old if he comes in. Nicky Visser, 2 laps. He's in the pits.
Damie's on a proper lap now. He's improved drastically on his first sector. His middle sector's where he lost the time before. Again, he's still 4/10 down in the middle, but still again an improvement on his own time.
Yeah, he's out of 8, coming down towards turn 9 now. And if he does better that should put him in the sort of 105.23.
Oh, he cut the last corner. It's invalid.
Oh no.
105.5.
Minus 2.5 seconds nearly. Sorry. Yeah, it was. 2.5 tenths, sorry.
Yeah, 105.5 as he crossed the line would have been put in P4. He's still got time to do some more.
John Dunkel's still in the pits. He's biding his time there. Elaine coming out of 3 now. Still to set a time.
Kalane's 2/10 down in the first sector.
Round 5 into 6 now. It's not looking too shabby, got to say.
Fairly tidy.
Yeah. Went a little bit. I think did he invalidate it on 8 there?
No, he's still valid. He is actually half a second down actually on the guys at the top in that middle sector. So he'll probably want to do another one after this. Not straight away.
Definitely invalidated it there. Surely, looked like he went right off the track.
No, it's still valid.
No,
106.1.
still valid. 106.1. My goodness me, that's amazing. John Dunkel's still in the pit. Zander Herman's coming around turn 3 now.
Baz has just gone purple in the first sector. Looking to improve on that 5-0.
He's just ahead of Herman's actually on the track at this moment in time, so we'll run with him. And then cut back to Herman's. Good job, round 6.
Herman's is only a blink of an eye behind Baz's time, actually, in Sector 1. And again in Sector 2, it's good time from Sanders. Baz is down in the middle. Yeah,
it doesn't look like to me he's going to be doing a faster lap. Oh, he does! Look at that! 105.4!
Not by much, is it?
Not by much, but Sander Herman's got 105.8 from Sander Herman's. Where's he losing that time? Because it's in that final corner, isn't it?
Final sector, yeah, half a second down just on that last turn.
John Dunkel's still in the pits. The Iceman cometh. But what a great run. Baz de Bruijn, 105.4.
Vanderberg's just gone P.
105.04.
Sorry, Vanderberg's just gone P2, I believe.
Yeah, he has. Hans van der Berg has gone P2, 105.389. Still 3.5 tenths off Baz de Bruijn, though. Erschein's very much in the mix, though. 105.393. He's coming around Sector 2 now.
Both Vanderberg and Visser have improved their first sectors on this lap.
Let's have a look.
Vanderberg purple in the middle sector, actually. He's a 10th up on Baz.
Oh, Erschein really pushing there. He's up. No, he's down 3/10, so he's not going to be doing anything there.
Vanderberg final turn. This might go top.
Oh, 105.2. So close. Erschein in the pits. De Bruijn in the pits. Williamson's out on track. He's down, but only just.
Third fastest first sector from Boy Williamson. And third fastest third sector as well. One could say he should be on for P3 at this rate.
Let's have a look here. It's all on the exit. 105.4 puts him P5. Down 2/10 on his previous. Hartman is out on track.
Last sector, he lost 3/10 on the leaders.
No, Hartman's down 0.05 at the moment on his previous. Coming now into, well, he's in sector 2. Let's see what he can do here. Whether he can better that time. Sector 1, as I said, he was only fractionally out from his best sector 1. Which is where we're going to see the split time. So he is down 2/10, nearly 3/10. So on that basis, that would put him P4 or P5.
John Donkel finally leaving the pit for the first time, still yet to set a lap. Jamie Clay now on track as well.
105.3! Yep, Damie Hartman takes that second row P4 alongside of his teammate at this moment in time, Hans van der Berg.
And Eddie, look how much he beat Urshan by.
Yeah.
0.002.
Yeah, that is so tight. It's tight, as they say in Holland. Tight.
That's more South African,
smoke and a
isn't it?
pancake. Now, South African sounds far more like this, my friend. It's a very, very, very different accent.
Very good. Very good.
John Dunkel out on track at this moment in time, coming round 7, 8 on his out lap, getting wound up. He's obviously confident. He's left it till the absolute last knockings. So it's got to be an on-board moment for this one. So let's go on board with John Dunkel.
While you're riding with Donkel, Kalen's just coming around the final turn now. He looks like he's about 3 or 4 tenths off the top. He could go quicker than Damie.
Wow. He split those Toro Rossos.
Kalen's P7 on a 105.8.
Well, John Donkel's sector 1 is a 16.1. I don't know where that sits.
That is fourth fastest. Quite a few drivers on that 16.1 actually in that first sector.
Ooh, not a great exit out of 4 into 5.
Didn't look comfortable, did it?
Did not. He went a little bit on the rough there.
29.4 in the middle sector. That puts him half a second down on the 5.0 bad.
Coming down round turn 9 now. This is the commit. This is the one where you really go to 10 especially. You can really commit there. This is not going to be a great time. It's going to be a 106. Ooh, 105.8. Yeah, and that puts him right at the bottom, P9. I don't think he was looking for that, was he?
No, to be honest, I wouldn't have expected him to be the slowest in this qualifying session.
No,
but
absolutely not.
Only 8 tenths.
It's a track he likes, isn't it?
Drivers. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and yeah, look, it's very, very tight between all the drivers. So credit to them all. Congratulations to Baz Den Breyen.
Fantastic run, I've got to say, from Den Breyen. Really, really great. Takes that P1 position. Alongside him is going to be Nicky Visser in the Red Bull. And then we've got Hans van der Berg, P3, row 2. Guido Hirschland's going to be along here, inside him. Looking good for Team McLaren at this moment in time. Damie Hartman's there in row 3, P5. Alongside him is going to be Boy Williamson in the Red Bull. Row 4, P7, Zander Hermans in the Rocket Williams. Jamie Kalane in the Mercedes alongside him. And then we've got row 5, John Donkel in the Ferrari. And alongside him will be the the Renault of Sil de Witt. So,
yeah, great qualifying session there.
It was actually. It was. I'm a bit surprised though. With Den Breyen so close, 0.59 to break that 105 and get into the 104s. I really did think we were going to see a high 104, maybe a 104.8 or 104.9, but it just didn't happen.
No, it didn't. But it didn't need to, because Baz did it. Baz did enough. Only just, though, over Visser. Yeah, that's right. I think we may be likely to see them in the first dozen or so laps at Austria. It's such a short track. And look at that rain.
Oh, my goodness me. Look at that rain.
See, this is why I didn't want to look at the weather report.
Oh, this is and this is full wets. This is definitely full wets territory.
Yeah, absolutely. The old monsoon tyres, remember those from the 90s?
Oh, my goodness me. Well, this is going to make for a very, very interesting start to this race, I've got to say, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that to me now explains why Visser and Hartmann were pushing those soft tyres so far in Q2, because they knew that the race was going to start wet, so the tyres they used in Q2 didn't count, or it didn't matter. That makes perfect sense now.
Yeah, it does make perfect sense, actually, now that you sort of, and they always say, don't they? They always say, hindsight is truly a wonderful thing.
I think for the drivers, it would be a case of foresight.
Or foresight,
the info that's available to them.
Foresight for them, hindsight for us.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we will undoubtedly be starting on full wets for this race. We do have 15 runners. We will run through those on the processional lap. I get the feeling we're probably going to have plenty of time on the processional lap.
Yeah, it's going to be about 4 minutes.
Yeah. So Baz then Brian is going to be leading the way. He's in that P1 position.
Visser slow off the line, sorry.
Yeah, Visser is very slow there. Visser just was actually got ahead of them, Brian. Visser is going to be in that P2 position. P3 is going to be Hans van der Berg in the Toro Rosso. P4 is Guido Urschen in the McLaren. P5, Davey Hartmann in the Toro Rosso. P6 is going to be Boy Williamson, and alongside, or rather P7 is going to be Zander Hermans. Alongside him is going to be Jamie Collane in the Mercedes. P9 is, well, surprise, surprise, it is indeed John Dunkel in the Ferrari. Alongside him is going to be Sil de Witt in the Renault. And in P11 we've got Peter Phillips in the Haas. P12 is Mark Schnappers in the Ferrari. P13 is going to be Martin Paardekoper in the Alfa Romeo. And his teammate Miguel Torni, he's going to be running, get that right there, teammate Miguel Torni. He's going to be running as well. Didn't expect him. I didn't think he was running actually this year. Anyway, he wasn't. We've got 16 drivers. We have got, okay, that makes sense. So we've got Miguel Torni. He's in 14. Then we have Yul Tyson in the Mercedes. He's 15, and there we go. That's the one. And then we have Marcel Dronig, who's actually in the race, and he's starting in 16.
Yep.
So, wasn't expecting him, I thought.
Just before the start, Tyson and Dronig are in the wrong cars, but that's because they joined late, so they're not able to be in the right car. Anyway. Okay,
right, so we are getting underway for this race now. The lights are on, and we are off for the start of this F1 Tonight, Season 6, Race 9, here at the Red Bull Ring in Oostenrijk, in Austria. And, oh dear, a bit of contact there between the Toro Rosso, Hans van der Berg and Nicky Visser.
Dronig's gone.
Dronik's gone. Urshan is still in 4. Hartman is 5. Boy Williamson 6. 7 is Zander Hermans. 8, Yul Tyson. He moves up 1. Takes that place from John Donkel. Down 1 goes Hans van der Berg. Ooh, nasty there around turn 3, isn't it?
Yep, Tyson's already up to P8. He started last.
My goodness me. Let's have a quick look at these position changes here. And this is really not looking... Oh, and off track goes... I think that was Urshan, wasn't it? Yeah, round turn 4. So Urshan goes off track round turn 4, and this really is scrappy. Hartman's up 1, Williamson up 1, Herman's up 1. Up 8, as you said, is Yul Tyson. And then we have John Donkel. He's eventually got back up 1, so he's into P8. Sildavit, he's up 1. Urshan, oh dearie me, down 6. Stapper's up 1, down 4. Kalane, down 1. Phillips, sorry, 3. It's Peter Phillips. Parder Cooper, Miguel Torney, they're all down as well, and Dronig's gone out. But Baz den Bruijn is leading the way at this moment in time. He's got Nicky Visser in there behind him. Donkel's gone into the pits. Undoubtedly, it's going to be
It's gone wide at the turn 10. Visibility is so poor.
Yeah,
as well.
Kalane's come in as well. So Donkel into the pits. Let's see if he's getting a new nose there. Yeah, he is. And Kalane as well. So they're both getting new noses. Oh, look at this. Den Bruijn, he's got Nicky Visser right alongside him as they're coming to turn 3. Oh, who's going to get it? Oh, yes, Visser gets ahead. What a fantastic job there from Nicky Visser. Gets ahead of Baz den Bruijn as they're going round turn 3. That is brave. Hans van der Berg still in that P3. Boy Williamson, Paul Hartman is in 5. And Zander Hermans is coming in. He's got Yul Tyson behind him as well. But, yeah, that's a brave, good move there from Nicky Visser, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Yeah, great move on Baz. It looks like they're using traction control actually. Surprising, well, perhaps not surprisingly, is absolutely chucking it down. Yeah. But yeah, both Visser and den Bruijn, yeah, both using it, I believe.
Well, to be fair, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Now Yul Tyson's got through the pack. He's got, as we said, 8 places to P7. But now he's coming into the pits. So has he got down? I think he's got front wing damage actually. Let's see as he comes into the pits.
You could be right. 2 seconds down in the middle sector was Tyson. You'd expect something happened to him.
Yeah, new nose. He'd lost the front left there, so he's got a new nose going on there.
Oh, Williamson's gone past. No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
Williamson
in. Contact there with Hans van der Berg and Boy Williamson as they were coming round 3. I don't know if there was actual contact or whether it was just pseudo contact as they both were sort of like spinning somewhat round there, and it was looks like it doesn't look like really sliding Hans van der Berg round 4, trying to stay on the back of that sister Red Bull. And his teammate is coming under a lot of pressure as well from Zander Hermans.
Yeah, that move by Boy on Hans van der Berg, around turn 3, it looked very much like the move Verstappen made on Leclerc actually at this year's Austrian Grand Prix.
Zander Hermans still on the back of Dami Hartman. Hartman still on the back of van der Berg, and van der Berg still on the back of Williamson. Visser's pulling out, isn't he, from den Bruijn? He's 1.4 already ahead of him.
Yeah, both drivers setting purple sectors here and there, but yeah, Visser seems to have it tuned in now. He's gained 8/10 or so on debris on that last lap.
Zander Hermans now got ahead of Dami Hartman on the approach into turn 3. Good move there from Zander Hermans.
Yeah, expect we'll see lots of overtakes at turn 3.
Hermans actually made a move before they got to turn 3. He actually made it round 2, funnily enough, on the exit of 2. Still so close between these guys. Obviously the gap opens up a bit. Urshan still in 7.
Really struggling.
He's struggling. I was just to say he is struggling out there. Strappers is in 8. I think he's equally struggling. Phillips as well. He's in 9. Yul Tyson has now come back out. He's just got past Phillips, so he's working his way back up the field effectively. Parder Cooper, he's in 11. Donkel is down in 12. 13, Miguel Tourney. Calais is 14, and Sil de Wit is in 15. Do I get the feeling that Sil de Wit does not
Safety
like
car
wet?
Sorry, safety car. Who's that for?
I don't know. I can't see anybody that's come out. No, I've got a yellow flag. Safety car is up, but I can't see anyone off the track. Bit of a delayed reaction. Is that down to the weather? Is it down to the rain? Visibility.
Have seen that before.
Now, this is going to make it doubly interesting now, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't expect many drivers to pit in as you normally would during a safety car.
Point.
But yeah, it's a difficult one to judge now. They're all obviously going to bunch up again. They're already bunched up. This is a bit of a saving grace, really, for the drivers who found themselves as casualties in those opening 4 laps. The driver that came into the pit, De Wit, Calais, Tourney and Donkel, and indeed Jorg Eisen. This is great for him, actually. It gives him a good chance to recover.
Well, it gives him another opportunity to have a crack through the field, but I don't know if it's going to help or hinder in a lot of respects, because, you know, you're still racing in wet conditions. You still got to get past the guys that are ahead of you, and you're going to have everyone else around you at the same time. So it's going to be more of a hindrance than a help, surely.
Yeah, well, on the plus side, he will no longer be 20 seconds behind Phillips. He'll be right behind him instead.
Yeah, that's true.
So there is that.
There is true.
Boy Williamson just got a 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding under the safety car, which is really not what we wanted to see.
It's certainly not what he wanted to see, I'm sure. Yeah, Nicky Visser now come to
Calais as well. Sorry, I interrupt you. 5-second penalty, speeding.
How dare you, Adrian? How dare you? How dare you, sir? No worries, man. Nicky Visser just on the back now of the safety car, coming out to 3. The brain now close down to him. Williamson. They're all starting to close in now. Now, safety cars come out actually on lap 6, so it won't go in at least until lap 8, and I suspect it is because of these conditions that it has come out. But I've got to say, I don't know if it's actually that bad for a safety car, is it? No, it's not great, but it's not. Is it safety car territory?
Yeah, I think it is. Last time I saw this happen with the safety car was at Monaco in a Synergy PWR race, actually. That I was commentating on for Division 2, and yeah, it was absolutely torrential, just like this. In fact, in the weather report, it just shows it not as 3 drops of rain, but as 3 straight lines of rain. It's just constant jet streams almost.
Driving rain.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it lasted about 10 laps, that safety car.
Now, obviously, this is going to put a completely different complexion on the race. You were commenting earlier, obviously, Adrian, on the fact that, the light bulb lit up. That's why Red Bull were pushing so hard on those softs and going deep on them, because they weren't really that worried. But that still says, look, at some point, this is going to go dry, isn't it? I mean, that is a guarantee.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I can't imagine it being very enjoyable driving in these conditions for an hour and a half. Well, we may even be up to the 2-hour mark.
I think we'd be up to the 2-hour mark without any problem whatsoever, to be honest with you.
I've never actually seen an F1 race in the game last for the full 2 hours, because obviously that is the limit. The race can only be either 305 kilometres or 2 hours, whichever comes first.
First, yeah. Well, all the cars are nicely bunched up now, apart from the back runners. Just Jamie Calais still needs to catch up. We've got Sil de Wit. He's another 4 seconds behind, but De Wit really does not like these wet conditions, does he?
No, not at all.
No, not at all, bless him. Sil de Wit there in the Renault. We've seen some great results from him since he's started in the league, but I've got to say, you can clearly see that the rain does not do him any good. They don't like it wet, sir. They don't like it wet.
Miguel Torney as well, he doesn't like it wet either. He went off at turn 3.
Yeah, and he's 18
now.
seconds behind these guys, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think he's enjoying this.
Do you not think?
No. Well, he might be in a weird...
What on earth makes you think that?
kind of way.
Well, Miguel also, he hasn't... he's participated, due to obviously constraints, he hasn't participated in a huge amount of races, but yeah, he definitely does not like it wet either, does he? No. So we are on lap 8 now. I said if the safety car was going to come in, it was going to be the end of this lap. Do you know what? I haven't got a clue when this safety car is going to come in. Any information that you might have there at all, Adrian, that might assist us in any way?
No, none whatsoever, other than the previous experience, as I said, Monaco, where the safety car did last 10 laps, but it only came in when the weather improved. So, yeah, I'm not too sure how long this is going to last.
Well, let's have a look. It doesn't look like it's improving.
It doesn't. If anything, it's going the other way.
If anything, it does look like it's getting somewhat worse, I'd say. So, Adrian, tell me, did you bring a pack of cards with you this evening?
Don't be like that, Eddie.
I'm just wondering. I'm just asking. Quick game of I don't know, Pontoon, maybe.
I'm actually playing F1 Manager or Motorsport Manager 3 on my phone at this moment in time.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? There could be critical information coming over the lines to which you would only be the party to, and you're messing about on F1 Manager on your phone. Seriously, what are you doing, man?
I'll tell you what, just give me a nudge once the safety car's in.
Yeah, well, you'll have to give me a nudge so I can wake up. Come on! Safety car is in, we are racing!
Pardicu's had to come into the pit as well. That's really bad luck for him.
Well, Yul Tyson moving up. He's got past Peter Phillips, Sil de Witt. He's got past Miguel Torney. And Nicky Visser now, he's going to try and see if he can build as much gap between him and Baz de Bruijn. But boy, Williamson's been given a great opportunity here to close down to that McLaren. But equally, Hans van der Berg, look, he's on the tail again. Sander Hermans is there as well. So it's just basically a rolling start we've just had. A rolling restart.
Effectively, yeah. Yeah, and the first 3 laps or whatever it was, a bit of sort of null and void. All those incidents we saw. It's all to play for again. Well,
let's see what happens. And Yul Tyson now is once again on the back of a Ferrari, although I don't think he's been on the back of Stapper's as yet. And he is right on his tail here, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I just wonder if he can pace himself perhaps a little bit more than he did a moment ago. He did very well to get up to P7. It was interesting the first couple of laps. But ultimately, I think that was his downfall and suffered damage.
I think this is set to provisional fastest to 119.
He should have it here. Tyson on Strappers down the start and finish. Quite an easy move, in fairness. Strappers not defending too much at all.
No. Oh, and nearly spins it. Nearly spins it. Yul Tyson manages to stay in there.
Kalain had to come in for a new wing just now. He's running P14.
Oh, dearie me, and Hartmann. He's gone very deep and wide. Nerscheid is close right down on him now. He was about a second behind him. He's now 4/10 behind him. Damien Hartmann really lost it round turn 3 there. Sander Hermans has got ahead of him. Oh, he was ahead of him anyway, wasn't he? Yeah. It was Hans van der Berg. No, why was Hermans actually? He has actually moved up. But anyway, Sander Hermans is in 5. Before Hans van der Berg still staying in there, but he's now 1.3 behind Williamson. But Williamson, he's right on the tail of de Bruijn. But Nicky Visser already 2 seconds ahead of de Bruijn.
Yep. Oh, Williamson's in the pit. That was unexpected.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got damage.
No, he hasn't got damage. Why is he coming in the pits?
Perhaps
He's
the
going on to
tyres.
intermediates. No,
I'm not sure. I can't imagine so. The weather is still pretty bad.
I'm staying with him.
Oh, he's serving his drive-through.
Oh, he's doing a drive-through. Right, okay, that explains him going into the pit. So he's just doing a drive-through. Okay, fine. So he's served that penalty now. That's released Hermans into 4. Van der Berg into 3. Hartmann into 5. But these gaps are opening up, and you can see there's some here that obviously can deal with the wet a little bit better. Tyson clearly he's okay in the wet. Urshan is definitely struggling. Hartmann so-so. Hermans he's looking pretty good actually. He's 5/10 off the back of Van der Berg. Van der Berg just dropped only 2 seconds behind Den Brain, so clearly wet conditions not his favourite. But Visser now 2.5 seconds ahead of Den Brain. He's really starting to pull it out now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's as I said, he's pretty much tuned in now. He's got the car nice and comfortable. So it seems, at least for now. But yeah, De Brain's under quite big pressure actually from Hermans behind. He was under quite huge pressure from Boy Williamson before he had to come in and serve that drive-through. So De Brain can breathe at least a small sigh of relief. But I think sooner or later, yeah, he's going to have another blue car behind him, driven by Hans.
Yeah, well, Van der Berg, though, he's still 2 seconds down behind him, and Hermans is actually closing down on him. Got a lovely aerial shot here as they're coming into 3. Oh, and in the background there, looks like Yul Tyson trying to get past the Toro Rosso. Damie Hartmann doesn't quite make it. Urshan seems to have got a little bit more comfy, doesn't look so twitchy now.
Well, Phillips has gone off at turn 3, lost 2 places there, both De Bit and Boy Williamson managed to get past.
It is moving up now.
Lots of drivers struggling with that turn 3 at the moment.
Yeah. Well, you're so used to braking hard into it, that's the problem.
Well, we've got yellows in sector 2, that is for... I think that was for Pete Phillips. Ocean Brain P5 was yellows in sectors 2 and 3 now. Oh, that's a Renault, that's still De Bit. He's spun the car.
Yeah, he's trying to get back onto the track there. He's span out 7, I would suspect.
Yeah, he's just really not enjoying his time on this track in these horrible conditions.
It is nasty, gotta say.
Pete Phillips in the pit.
De Brain is closing down a bit more now to Visser. Van der Berg, though, he's dropped down 2.5 seconds.
Stappers is going to pass Boy Williamson. I don't think I've seen that all season.
He hasn't quite. They're coming around turn 3. He has now. Oh no, he doesn't quite get the traction on the exit. Williamson stays ahead of him.
Yeah, quite a big lock up from Mark into 3.
Yeah, he's got the straight line. He had the straight line speed. He was making the move on the DRS out of turn 1 and around 2, and they were side by side. He just got his nose ahead, but Williamson managed to hold his own there. To be fair, around turn 3. So good job there from Williamson.
Yeah, it did well. Tyson looks like he's going to try and pass the current champion, Damie Hartmann.
Yeah, he is right on his tail.
Damie's all over the back of Guido as well.
Damie's gone wide out of 9.
Tyson is really good on that ERS management. It's probably the best I've ever seen, actually, in terms of how much he seems to have left all the time.
Yeah, probably because he's got it on auto. Damie Hartmann squirming out of turn 1, given Yul Tyson the opportunity to get alongside and ahead of him out of 2. They're coming down to turn 3 now. They got Guido Urshan ahead of. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Yul Tyson on the back right wheel of Guido Urshan. He's knocked the end plate off his front wing. Yep, front left wing. He's got no end plate.
Yeah, good spot there, Eddie. It does look like it.
Damien Hartman trying to take advantage, really cutting that turn 4, sorry, trying to get ahead. He knows, he saw that damage come off Yul Tyson's car, so he knows he's going to be suffering with that downforce on that front.
Oh, Damien's lost it.
Damien's
He's lost it.
Oh, he was so close into the wall there. I'm trying to go broadcast camera, but it doesn't show. I've got to go on board for that one. That was close, wasn't it? I bet he's got a little bit of a streak in his underwear at this moment in time.
Yeah, I dare say he has. I won't ask him for evidence.
No, nor will I. And Max Verstappen's going very wide round 10, and the guy, they're really struggling, aren't they, with these corners, because your braking distances are completely out the window here, aren't they?
Yeah, it's about 4 times the regular stopping distance in the wet, even with these full wet tyres. You know, they disperse 60 litres of water a second.
Side by side with Guido Urshan as they're out of 3, coming down to 4. He's trying every which way he can to get past this McLaren, and he just makes it down into turn 4. And is he going to be able to make it? No, look at this. Urshan coming back round 5. And they're side by side. Oh, and he just gets his nose ahead down in 6. But oh, dearie me. Was there contact there?
Out. No, there wasn't contact either.
It was close,
he had to back out. It was very close.
Fantastic driving from both Guido Urshan and Yul Tyson there. I've got to say, great respect for both those drivers.
Yeah, fantastic driving from both of them, as you say. But yeah, ultimately, Tyson's come off. He's won this battle.
Yeah, but he's still got that damage. I mean, I suppose it's not critical. It's the front left. Just trying to think where he would. I mean, it's probably round 7 that he's going to have the problems with that, really.
Yeah, it's most reliant on the downforce. Turn 9, I think it is as well, is quite heavily reliant.
Yeah, but it's on the opposite side. See, he's got the end plate on the left gone. So that's going to sort of hamper him when he's going around the left-hand turn. That's why I'm thinking 7 would probably be the worst.
Yeah, it could be. Tyson actually using their default setup as well, by the way, because he wasn't able to participate in qualifying, so he's not been able to actually put a setup on his car. So this is doubly impressive from him.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we're on lap 16 of 71 laps, and as you may have noticed, it is slightly damp on the track this evening. We've already seen the safety car come out for, what was that, 3 laps? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? So safety car came out. Other than track conditions, we couldn't see any reason why it would come out, so we were guessing on that. But I've got to say, this rain does not look like it's subsiding, and we're only on the 17th lap.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's
Yellow
going
flag,
anywhere,
sector 3.
I wonder if that was that Party Cooper.
I think it was Williamson actually going off the track, I'm not too sure. I think it was actually Boy Williamson may have gone off the track, I'm not too sure. Maybe not, it was somebody.
Pete Tench-Stapper's
well, Party Cooper's in the pits.
2 seconds down.
Yeah, major nose damage there, having a new nose put on his car. Tawny's 14. Peter Phillips is 13. Jamie Culhane is 12. The man with the broken arm is still in there. Zil de Witt, well, he's hanging on in there. It may not be his favourite, but he's in 11. Then we've got Stappers in the Ferrari in 10. Damie Hartman in a Toro Rosso. Oh, dearie me, Damie. This really, really is not your race so far, is it?
It's not, is it?
No. Definitely not. And Boy Williamson, I can say the same for him. He's in P8 at this moment in time. Sure, he's not too happy with that. Doing a nice little power slide, actually, round 9 into 10. Very confident. Good cornering there. He's closing down on John Donkel. He's in P7. A little bit happier, I guess. You know, did start in 9. Certainly not where he wanted to be. So he's moved up 2. Urshan is in 6, and that's the man that he's pressurising at this moment in time. saw Yul Tyson put up a real good battle with Urshan, but eventually got past him. Let's see what the Ferrari and the McLaren are going to do here. Obviously, two drivers, they know each other very well. Driving styles. I've got to say, John Dockel does like the wet, but he hasn't quite delivered in these wet conditions as I would have expected him to, surprisingly. Maybe he's coming alive now, I don't know.
Yeah, he seems to have got a bit of composure back in his driving, a bit more confidence. I think the fact that Guido's now right in front of him, I think that's going to boost his confidence even more, because it means he's got the opportunity to overtake, potentially grab some more championship points, and there's a bit of a way to go before I start talking about that. But yeah, he's in the right position. I think this is a good recovery.
Yep, he is in the right place, certainly, at this moment.
Oh, Guido's lost it!
Urshan's lost it! Urshan's lost it! And that was on the exit of 9. Oh, dearie me! Oh, he is going to be... Well, I don't even want to know what the language is going to be flying around there, but that's pushed Williamson up into 7 and Donkel up into 6. Williamson was behind them anyway, so he keeps that place effectively.
Yeah, that's not going to please Guido's fans. At least one of which is watching this race. I think his daughter is trying to root him on, cheering for him in the YouTube chat. But,
yeah, chill out, Guido. Take it easy, deep breath. There is more to come. Yul Tyson is up in 5. Zander Hermans still not able to close down to Van der Berg, and Van der Berg really hasn't closed down at all to Den Brain. He's doing his own little thing there. He's 3.5 seconds nearly off the back of Den Brain, and Herman's still in the hundreds behind Hans van der Berg, but not quite able to close that last little bit. Den Brain is in P2 at this moment in time, but look at this, he's already, 6 seconds behind Nicky Visser.
Yeah, I think Nicky's cranked up the engine and things. He's just at purple third sector. It's actually half a second a lap faster than Baz at the moment.
Well,
yeah, not surprising.
No, not surprising, but it's going to be a question now. I mean, this obviously throws what we would...
Sorry, Visser's gone off? No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Someone did at turn 3. Sorry. Went into panic mode. I was riding with Baz, looked up, and there was a piece of wing. It did look like a Red Bull wing. Was it boy?
It could have been boys from the previous one. I don't know.
It was definitely flying around as though it was new and fresh and things. I have to look back at
There's no damage that I can see on Visser's car at all, so none whatsoever.
Apologies for my little outburst there.
That's all right. You just made me jump there. You nearly gave me a heart attack, man.
My heart was in my
Do
mouth.
you realise I could have been dialing 999 in the middle of a broadcast? You don't want to be doing that. So, you've messaged me here that I've got... he's 86, not 89. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. 86 on the car, but 89 on the graphic.
Well, trust you to spot the number on the car. I don't even know where it is.
Oh yeah, it's just my OCD kicking in.
Oh, seriously. This is going on here. Okay, let's have a quick look through this field. Zander Hermans is now... Well, he was 3 tenths. He's 5 tenths. He's definitely got the straight line speed over that Toro Rosso. But he just hasn't got the cornering, Zander Hermans, has he?
No, just hasn't got it quite right. I wonder if that's just a setup issue.
Yeah, I think it is, because he's, as I say, he's a lot faster on the straight. Yeah. He just hasn't got the grip, effectively, that he needs on those corners. He's having to rely a lot more on the actual braking to slow the car, rather on the mechanical grip, because he just hasn't got any mechanical grip, or not the same certainly as Hans van der Berg has, that's for sure, because you can see in that first sector that's where he closes down on him, but then in the sort of second and third sector that's where he loses him.
Yep, that's a good, very good analysis there. Just having a look at the replay, my outburst was not for for the Red Bull going off, it was actually Miguel Torni, who was running P14 at the time. It looked like he forgot to brake actually at turn 3, bounced off the wall on the left-hand side. Piece of wing went flying in the air, and he just went straight on.
Blimey, that was a bit of luck. Right, so Sander Hermans is the man we are with at this moment in time. He's looking to try and make the move on the Toro Rosso of Hans van der Berg, and he has, as I said, this is where he closes down to him, but now this is where he starts to lose him. Can he now correct that and stay on the back of that Toro Rosso? And so far, it's looking like he is.
Yeah, has he managed to redeem himself slightly?
I don't know. This is going to be the next one, is these next sets of corners. But you can see, look, Hans van der Berg, he's still...
Stafford's just lost position to Silvervit now. Oh, and it's contact. Stafford's just hit the back of De Witt's Renault.
Yeah, can see that. Just missed the actual collision itself. I don't know how much damage Stappers has actually got on that car. Let's see if we can get in a little bit closer. I don't think he's actually got any damage.
He might have got away with it. There's definite contact.
He's certainly front right is looking okay. You can see him as he comes round 7 into 8. And yeah, he's lost the front left end plate.
Left plate, yeah.
So he sustained some minor damage, luckily for him. Sander Hermans, again, he's just not able to close it down enough, is he? He just hasn't got that mechanical grip. He's got enough to stay with him, but not to get past him.
It's the exit of out of 3 is just so critical to get that right to have any chance of making the pass. Unless the driver ahead of you has got, you know, NAFL in the tank on the on the engine, with the battery, and just can't defend. Other than that, you're just going to have just such a brilliant exit.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy one, that's for sure. Well, we are now on lap 23 of 71, 24, I stand corrected, so we're just over a third of the way through this race, and we still have the rain. In this case, not in Spain, but in the valley in Austria, coming down, and it just doesn't look like it's going to die down. If anything, it's pretty much maintaining its course, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I would not want to be there. I hope that the race doesn't go this way on Tuesday for the F1 Tonight UK version of this one.
Be interesting.
And that's the annoying thing as well, is that typically I'd be using this race as a bit of a strategy guide for my race on the Tuesday, but of course I can't do that because of the wet stuff that's everywhere.
Yeah, that's true, but then again, you never know. It might work to your advantage. I can guarantee you're going to be doing some wet practice between now and Tuesday, though.
Absolutely.
Oh, I thought you might.
I'll probably do about 80% wet practice and 20% dry.
Well, to be fair, I mean, wet practice is great, because if you can sort of, you know, reduce your speed on the wet conditions, chances are you should be able to do that in the dry, even better.
Yeah, in theory.
So it is, in theory, that is true, in theory. But then again, if you get too used to the wet, your braking points are completely wrong, and you're just losing time hand over fist then. Yeah,
that's right.
So we are still with Sander Hermans at this moment in time. The only other man, Dami Hartmann is closing in on the back of Guido Oeschen, but he's just picked up a 3-second time penalty in his attempt.
Drifted wide at turn 9. As I've seen a lot of drivers do that actually in this race so far. It's quite common.
So he is still on the back of him, but not. Oh, hang on. He's now looking to make that move, I think, actually. Yep, they're coming round 2. He's got alongside him as they're coming up towards turn 3. They're side by side. He's gone too deep.
And Oeschen's got loads of ERS, so Dami will not have the slightest chance of making the pass into 4.
no chance at all because Damie's ERS is pretty much depleted. Maybe what he used to try and get ahead of that McLaren, and it just hasn't worked out for him. So he's going to have to go all the way back again, stay behind that McLaren probably for a couple of laps or so, replenish that ERS, and then go for another attempt.
Yeah. Stapper's moving very slowly on the track at the moment. He's on the intermediate tyres, actually, Stapper's. They're really not the right tyre for these conditions, as
Definitely
he is
not.
quickly discovering.
Yep, definitely not. And I just want to see him into turn 1, actually, on those intermediates, into the Nicky Lauda curve. Oh, very twitchy on that exit there, trying to get some grip as he's laying down the power.
To be fair, on that dry-ish line, it's not too bad, but as soon as you come off of that, even a slightly...
Oh, way too deep there into 3.
His sector times like in sector 1 he is, but you know what, to be fair, he is only 3 tenths slower than De Bruyn.
Maybe the condition, it looks the same to me. It doesn't look like it's slowing down at all, but maybe it's because obviously you've got to remember these guys on the wets, they're throwing the water off the track, and I guess you could start to develop a drier line on there, but look, he's squirming round 7 and 8 there.
There we go, he's 1.5 down in the middle sector.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for me, that says it's still wet condition tyre.
Yeah, and look at that super wide out of 9. Yeah, it's not really the right thing. He'll probably stick with it, see how long he can make it run.
Yeah, 2.5 seconds down in the last sector as well. So.
Not great though for Stappers. In the meantime, Hartmann trying to close back down to Urshan. Still got about another lap to go, I think, before he can really lay down another assault. Oh, well, hang on, what's happened here? Zander Hermans has dropped down. We've missed something here because Zander Hermans has dropped down to P6.
Yeah, I'll try and see if I can see what...
John Dunkel, he's moved up to 5. Will Tyson is up to 4. So Hermans must have come off the track. And it's probably the previous lap, actually.
Yeah, just when the string back a little bit, it looks like, Dunkel did just make the pass. Can't quite tell if that actually was on track. Didn't see any yellow flags or anything like that. I think it was a move on track.
Right, yeah, but he's lost 2 places, though, because Yul Tyson as well. It's John Dunkel and Yul Tyson that got ahead of him. He's into the pits. Yeah, he's into the pits. He must have some damage. Let's see what damage. It's undoubtedly going to be front wing damage, but I don't know how much.
Yes, sorry, yeah, you are right. Yeah, Yul Tyson passed him lap 26.
John Dunkel's coming to the pits as well.
I wonder if they had a collision, actually.
I wonder if there was maybe some sort of contact there. And he's going on to intermediates. It wasn't a nose change. He's gone on to intermediates.
Okay, that's brave.
Well, maybe these guys are aware that the conditions are changing, and what they're doing is basically getting themselves ready, so they're on those tyres. If it's bearable, you know, you don't have to come in and pit, I suppose. I don't know. I can't quite see the logic of it, but still.
To be honest, Eddie, I think what the drivers are doing here, look, it's only the ones in the midfield that have decided to come in on the inters, and for those guys, the way that they're probably looking at it is, right, I've got in my hands, 1, 2, 4, 6 championship points. Oh, sorry, John Donkel's just passed Urshan. I think that was a bit of a dive into turn 4. I'm not sure he expected to pass him there, but no contact between the drivers. Yeah, good move from John. So those drivers in the middle of this pack, they are willing to gamble those handful of points for potentially quite a lot more points if they get this right. Guido Urshan's coming in.
Sorry, they're all coming into the pit. Sorry, I actually had my mic muted. I was just looking at all this. They're all coming to the pits. They're all going on to the intermediates. The only one that's still on the wets is Urshan, Tawny and Parder Cooper.
Yeah, drivers on the inters now taking purple sectors as well. Boy Williamson the fastest on that lap.
Yeah, and it has, if you look at the rain, it does look... No, it doesn't look like it's got any... I don't know. I'm looking at it and I don't think it looks any different to what it did earlier.
Visibility is still awful. I think the actual quantity of rain is perhaps slightly less. Not so much. There still seems to be quite a lot of standing water on that track though.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Partaku picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. No, not what you want to be doing. Well, John Donkel's a happy man because he's now moved up to P3. So let's have a quick resume of where we are. Nicky Visser stays in 1 as it is at this moment in time. Let's have a look at the interval times. They are on the intermediates. Let's get that off. So, Nicky Visser remains in P1. He's still 6 seconds ahead of Baz den Bruijn. John Donkel is now in P3 and he's about 9 seconds behind Baz den Bruijn. Zander Hermans has moved up to P4. And he's 1.5 seconds just over off the back of John Donkel. Yul Tyson is now 0.05 or half a second effectively off the back of Zander Hermans. Yeah, and there does seem to be certainly less water on the track, definitely. But it just seems to be coming down. Weird, but still, I'm not going to question it. Yul Tyson is looks like he's going to be challenging very, very soon on Zander Hermans. Boy Williamson just in behind him. And then you've got Hans van der Berg in 7, Sildervit in 8, Urshan in 9, Kalane is in 10, Hartmann is down in 11, Peter Phillips is 12, Stappers 13, 14 Tawney and 15 Partaku. We're on board with Yul Tyson. Oh, nearly is it. And there's a real battle going on here between the Rocket Williams team at this moment, isn't there?
Yeah, it's only a temporary team, mind. Yul Tyson normally drives for Mercedes alongside
Mercedes.
Jamie Kalane.
That's true.
The temporary teammates definitely battling away here. Both of these drivers have won races as well, of course. Zander Hermans winning at Australia and Yul Tyson more recently in France, the last Grand Prix.
Yep. So they are Grand Prix winners, the both. Obviously, Yul Tyson will take the points from Mercedes, I'm sure.
John Donkel ahead of them. Sorry, just while we're riding with the two Williams here. John Donkel. He did just now 16.5, and John Donkel's actually come out the big winner in all of this with the weather conditions. He was riding in P6 for a long time. I think he was battling with Guido earlier on, but now he's found himself in a legitimate podium position here.
Yeah, and that was I think more luck than judgment, though, to be fair.
It could well be. His teammate has just gone off ahead of him.
He has. Look at that. Stappers goes off round turn 4. Goes into the rough stuff, into the shingle.
Oh, Tawney's just blocking the race leader, Nicky Visser, into turn 9. I think that was just as he was being lapped. I think that was a bit of just poor communication between the drivers. He wasn't too sure what. Visser wasn't too sure what Tawney was doing.
Donkel's picked up a 3-second time penalty. That's for corner cutting. That must have been round 9 or 10.
Yeah, that was 9.
Yul Tyson still glued to the back of that Williams of Zander Hermans. As we Adrian kindly pointed out, and he's quite correct, they're not normally teammates. It just so happens as Yul Tyson joined late, he couldn't get into his Mercedes.
Oh, Tyson's going to have the jump on him here, I think. Or good exit from the
Tyson
Hermans,
went
actually.
in a little bit too deep there. I think into 3 he couldn't quite get the exit right. Otherwise, Hermans wasn't particularly fast on the exit. So, yeah, a bit of 50-50 there, really. But look at this. He is right on his coattails here, isn't he?
Yeah, and interestingly as well, actually, both of these drivers, I know I said Yul Tyson, he's really good on his DRS management. Zander Hermans is doing exactly the same thing. Both of these Williams drivers really sort of in tune with each other in terms of what they're doing with the ERS track map, I suppose.
Yeah,
they're both doing exactly the same thing every corner.
Well, these guys obviously putting the homework.
Bit of a stalemate here, really, between the two Williamses.
It is a bit at this moment in time because they just can't win it, but it does look like it's brightening up. So although it doesn't look like it's actually sort of raining any less, it is actually brightening up. I'm wondering if we're not going to be going dry in a not so distant future. I mean, we're on lap 33 of 71. This is One Tonight Nederland, Season 6, Race 9, here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Ooh, Tyson going a little bit scrappy round turn 4 there. And it's been rather an interesting race. We started in wet conditions and we still are running in wet conditions. Although the drivers have come in, gone on to intermediates. I guess it started to sort of... Oh, first driver I think came in, was it lap 27 onto the intermediates?
26. Well, we saw Staffers come in. I think he was maybe 2 laps early.
Yeah.
So he was in some really poor sectors. But yeah, I think the other drivers must have got the message from Jeff.
Yeah. So they've gone on to the intermediates. On that basis, we might be going on to, well, we might be going into dry conditions, interestingly enough, as we come into the final third of the race.
It would be nice to see a bit of sun before the end of the race.
Well, it's very possible. We are rapidly approaching the halfway mark, 34 laps of 71. 35 and a half laps obviously being the halfway mark, but we don't measure in half laps, so we'll take 36 as being halfway point. And yeah, we've gone from wet to intermediate, so we really need to go on to dries, don't we?
It would make sense. Both the Williamses, the Hermans and Tyson, are rapidly approaching John Donkel. I think he's in real danger of losing that podium spot.
Yeah, well, Sander Hermans is only 8.5 tenths off the back, and obviously Yul Tyson has dropped back a little bit now on Sander Hermans. I'm wondering if Hermans is maybe finding a little bit more traction now and able to lay down that speed a bit better, isn't he?
Yeah, perhaps he is. So he seems to have it a bit more under control. Tyson falling back a little bit actually on him, or rather I think that's Hermans pulling away, just using up a bit more of his ERS. ERS has such an impact in F1, in real life as well as in this game, of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and especially on a track like this. This is like ERS, DRS heaven, really, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. So a little bit random here. Had a comment come through on the YouTube chat. Someone's made a comment that sausage curbs are the worst, and I've only just got that joke. Even made that comment 45 minutes ago.
Who sent that in? Who sent that in?
That was a gentleman called Anthony Brian Foster.
Well,
I wonder if there's any relation to F1 Tonight UK driver Tony Foster.
Well, I think it could be the one and only, but yeah, Tony, good call, sir, good call. Yes, they are definitely the worst, but you've got to be careful, because you don't want to get brocken on them.
Whoosh.
Scores out of 10 for that one, please, Tony.
It has stopped raining. I don't know if you've noticed.
Has. Well, it's
completely.
Still sort of, not completely, it's still coming down, but it is definitely dry now. Question's going to be, who's it going to be? Who's going to make that call? Who's going to go onto the drive?
I think, personally, the first ones to come in, again, I think we're going to see those drivers in sort of 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th place. The ones that have got... I wouldn't say little to lose, but they've got less to lose than the guys at the front. I think we're going to see those drivers up there.
I'm going to call Sil de Wit first man into the pits, going on to dries.
Yeah, I think that might be a good call. I'm actually going to go with Damie.
You're going to go with Damie?
Yeah.
Okay,
we've got a driver facing the wrong way. Who was that? That was Migo Tawney, who's just crashed out at turn 1.
That was turn 1, wasn't it? I was just caught it on the on the side there. I couldn't quite see which car it was.
Ryder Cooper in P14 has just been lapped by Stappers in P13.
Okay, so this is definitely starting to hot up now. John Dunkel setting the fastest lap, 1:16.4 so far. Yul Tyson now starting to close down on Zander Hermans. Zander Hermans seems to get a second win, but Tyson now is closing down on him. And using a little bit more of the ERS at this moment. So we're seeing a fight here once again. I thought Hermans actually started to pull away, but maybe Tyson was just building up his ERS, getting ready for another attack.
Yeah. Oh, Hermans quite wide.
Oh, he did out of four.
Especially wide. He's given him the position, really.
Yeah, he has handed it to him on a somewhat of a, not a plate, but more a silver salver. So, Yul Tyson now moves up to P4, and let's just remind ourselves where he started. He started in P15.
Really impressive stuff.
Fantastic run, I've got to say, there from the Mercedes driver. And I know you're going to say he's in a Williams. Yes, he is in a Williams, but he does normally drive in the Mercedes. And as all the cars in this league are set to be on the same level, the only thing that's different is the livery, basically.
That's right. And again, he's got a default setup.
And he's got a default setup as well, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out for him. I mean, in the wets, clearly wasn't great. He wasn't, but I say clearly wasn't great. Actually, I stand corrected. It clearly was great because he really came through under those wet conditions. The question is now going to be whether it maintains that under these dry conditions. So that's position changes as they stand. John Dunkel's up 6 from 9. Remember, everyone else pretty much in a round and about. But let's have a look here.
Sorry, Stappers is the first man on the softs. He was the first man on the inters. He's the first man on the dry tyres.
So Mark Stapper's first man to go on to the dry tyres. He's gone on to a set of soft tyres. I'm sure, Adrian, you're going to keep an eye on him and see how that actually works for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he needs to crank up that ERS. Everyone's coming in now. So Visser's in, then Brain's in, Dunkel's in, Tyson's in. Zander Hermans stays out, Williamson's in, Hans van der Berg, he's coming in as well. Sil de Wit, he's out on track at this moment in time, coming down towards turn 9.
This is on the soft. This is on the soft, and the rest are on the mediums. So this is going to have to stop again.
He is. Sil de Wit coming in as well.
I wonder if that's a bad call from
everybody's coming in at the moment, so this is going to be interesting. Yeah, but is he going to... We said that you can go super aggressive here, so if he really pushes on those softs, he could come in and go on to another set of softs to finish the race, couldn't he?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I mean, the gap between himself and De Bruyn is 13.5 seconds now, so potentially he only has to gain 10 seconds within the next, say, 20 laps or so, and then he can pit in again and come out first on fresh tyres. So yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah, and certainly an aggressive stance. Nicky Visser now getting past Zander Hermans. Zander Hermans coming into the pits, I'm sure. Visser going very wide round 9. I don't know if that was more to do with the fact that he had Zander Hermans coming into the pits, but Nicky Visser now reassumes the lead of the race. He's now, the question is he on fresh tyres? Yes, he is, because otherwise it would come up with 6 laps, wouldn't it?
Yep, quite right. Mark Stapper's purple in the first sector, FYI.
Well, there you go. And you can clearly see that it has gone to dry conditions. So we've got 31 laps remaining. This is One Tonight Netherlands, and we are here in season 6, race 9 at the Red Bull Ring here in Spielberg in Austria. We started off under very wet conditions, so wet indeed that we actually had the safety car come out for 3 laps. Then it started to abate, and early man on the intermediate tyres was Mark Stapper's round about lap 25. The other drivers coming in round about 26, 27, I think it was, or a little bit after that. They went on to the intermediates. We've now gone on to the dry compound tyres as the rain has abated, and all the drivers now on dry tyres. 2 DNFs as it stands for this race, and that was Marcel Dronig, that was on the opening lap actually, and Miguel Torni. A little bit deeper into the race, ended up facing the wrong way and into a barrier, so he went out. So Nicky Visser going super aggressive here. 15 seconds is that gap now to Den Brayen. Fresh softs, he should be able to go about 20 laps, shouldn't he?
Donker's just passed Den Brayen, yeah.
God,
Den Brayen's just collided with Tyson.
Yeah, Den Brayen, I don't know what happened there. I missed it, unfortunately, so I do apologise for that. But Den Brayen got passed by John Donkel, and it looked like that was on the approach to turn 3, so round 2 on that DRS. But it wrong-footed Den Brayen, and it gave Tyson the opportunity to come through, didn't it?
Yeah, not too sure what did happen now. Just cut to Den Brayen just at the moment of impact, actually, or just as Tyson was passing. And yeah, it looked a bit sort of wheel to wheel, a little bit of a tangle. Den Brayen obviously come out much worse.
Yeah, definitely. He's now in P4. He's 3.7 seconds behind Tyson. And now he's got Zander Hermans on the back of him. Zander Hermans straight past him.
Yeah, it looked easy, didn't it?
Is there something up with the setup maybe there that the Brayen's got?
Yeah, perhaps. Could be a full wet setup that he was using, and it's just not... it's just not optimal in these conditions. Just looking at the replay, actually, it looked like Den Brayen, he was on the outside coming into 4. He got a warning for some into 4.
Oh right.
He come across the track to the right and then moved back to the left in the braking zone and just collided with Tyson. I think the stewards may look at that, perhaps unfavourably.
Okay. Well, Den Brayen is now down into P5. Zander Hermans has got past him. Neil Tyson has got past him. He's up into 3. John Donkel is up into 2. I mean, Donkel must be thinking, I think I'll do the lottery this week.
Happy days.
Yeah, happy days.
Done exceptionally well, Donkel, considering that he was, inverted commas, slowest in Q3, starting P9, obviously, with De Witt, who crashed out in Q2, but still made it into Q3. But yeah, it's everything seems to be, I don't want to jinx him, but everything does seem to be going his way at the moment.
Well, it certainly does. And actually... do you believe in the commentator's curse?
Yes.
Don't worry. I'll have to share something with you that will make sense why I just said that.
Right, okay. Fair enough.
It's all right. It's a promo video that we've got going out that's been created by one of our wonderful drivers, Zander Hermans.
Oh, lovely.
He actually has a nice little clip of me saying that during the video, which is absolutely hilarious, I tell you. It had me in stitches.
Can't wait for that.
I'll send you the link to it. It's a bit of a long one though, but it is good, I've got to say.
Another 3 second time penalty, for Jamie McLean, multiple warnings. Yeah, it seems to be cutting that.
We may see, I've seen a few go round, and obviously with those wet conditions, I'm sure that there will be some accumulated. We are now on lap 44 of 71. So we have 27 laps remaining of this race. Nicky Visser is, he's 16 seconds ahead of John Donkel. But I've got the feeling he probably wanted a little bit more air than that. He's on 6-lap-old softs. I mean, what do you think? I mean, 20 laps, or is he going to go sort of the halfway mark, do you think?
Yeah, he'd probably go to perhaps lap 55 or so, and then on to the softs again. He's doing lap times that are about a second faster than John's at the moment. So if he does 10 more laps like this, he will effectively be 26 seconds ahead, and be able to pit in comfortably onto the soft tyres. So yeah, it's all going to plan at the moment.
Well, it's certainly, as we said, aggressive stance. Super aggressive, as we know, in the queues as well on the tyres. And we were a little bit curious as to why that was. It all became apparent when the race started, obviously. So that's clearly what he's looking for at this moment in time. But I've got to say, Neil Tyson, what a race!
Yeah, brilliant.
Race!
He has got past John Donkel. John just let him past, actually, into turn 4. I don't quite know why that was. He did it almost like he'd overtaken him illegally and was giving the place back. But of course that wasn't the case, because John was ahead. I don't quite know why he let him pass. That's a bit strange, but I'm sure we'll find out.
We'll find out in due course. I mean, Neil Tyson, I was just having a quick look there, started in 13 positions. I mean, that is a phenomenal race. I mean, he drove an amazing race last week, obviously. This man is really going to shake up this championship if he carries on like this.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I mean, obviously, with Nicky on for his 5th win of the season at race 9, we've seen amazing performances from Neil Tyson. Winning at France.
Yeah. Last week, I mean, he was in P15 with 12 points, picked up those 25, moves him up into P10. Only his 2nd race. This is now his 3rd race. He's gone from 15 to P2, and under very challenging conditions as well, it has to be said.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been really impressed with Tyson's performances so far. As I said, last week I have raced with him in a different league in MRC, and I already know that he is a wickedly fast driver. But when you put that into the context of this league, you can really see the comparative difference in pace.
And this is the other thing we need to point out. I mean, we haven't actually mentioned it, or obviously, I guess it does come across on the bat. But 100% race. These guys are not necessarily used to 100% races. These new guys, let's say. So it does put a very, very different complexion on it. But clearly, Neil Tyson is very comfortable indeed with a 100% race.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I believe he has had quite a lot of experience doing full distance races, which it really does show.
Oh right, okay. I stand corrected. Be curious to know who those were. That was MRC, because MRC do 100% races as well.
Typically they do 50%. I think they do some specials sometimes where they do a full distance version. I could be wrong, of course.
So while we're mentioning other leagues, might as well go the whole hog. So big shout out, obviously, to MRC. Really, really big shout out to Synergy as well, and that's Synergy PWR. I had to say that.
I've missed that.
Yeah, I missed that. They're going great guns as well. So big shout out to the boys there as well at Synergy. Who else can we mention? TRL?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? TRL doing well there, and I believe they've got some events coming up. I'm not too sure. I've been told that there might be the possibility that they might be looking at our services, so yet to find out. But if it is, it is. If it isn't, I don't care. I just wish you all the success that you can have. Any others that jump to mind?
Yes, RLR, do you know that one?
I don't know that one.
The Roulette Racing League, run by Synergy's very own Heatproof Ham. It's a very, very good friend of mine, Ben Cannon. He's set up. They're a little bit random, that one. They do
big shout out to Roulette Racing League, who clearly are looking at future revenue streams.
They do a bit strange though, and they do random races, so they don't tell the drivers which track they'll be racing at. They just pick a random track on the day, and
that sounds like fun, actually.
Random weather conditions, including rain at Bahrain or any other desert location.
Oh, that sounds excellent. Oh, I like the sound of that. I like the cut of their jib.
And no custom setups either. You're only allowed to use the default setups.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that sounds very interesting.
Bit of a mix-up.
Well, while we've given a big shout out to a number of other leagues and wishing them all the success that they can possibly have, I'm on board with Baz and Brian, who is now closing in on the back of John Donkel, who's dropped down to P4.
Yeah, I've seen some strange things from John in the last few laps.
Yeah, what happened? I mean, Yul Tyson, obviously, as we know, got past him. Zander Hermans has got past him. Donkel has dropped down to 4. He was in that P2 position. He's clearly suffered in some sort of way. I'm just trying to figure out where it was.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. He's riding around in mode 1 on his ERS. He's got completely on his ERS. He's got completely full battery. It stands to reason to use some of it.
We've seen this before, haven't we, from John?
We have, yeah, but it's completely different to the way he's been racing for the first 40 laps or so.
Yeah. So, I don't know, bit of a weird one there, but then Brian is ever closing down on him. He's also got Boy Williamson not too far behind him, so Boy's got him in view as well. So there is still a lot that can happen, and probably will, in this race. But Zander Hermans, well, a great race from him as well, isn't he? I mean, he's done really well, and I just want to see where he actually started, because I can't remember where he actually started.
He was, wasn't he 8th, I think?
Yeah, he was 7. He started P7. So he started P7. So he's gone up 4 places to P3, but a good run from him as well, got to be said. Good race, solid race from Zander Hermans.
Yeah, impressive stuff. As I said, I expected him to be front row at some, in this race. John Donkel's just losing another place here to Baz. He's gone straight on.
He's gone into the wall. So John Donkel DNFs. Goes out, that's the Ferrari out, only Mark Stapper's remaining.
Shouldn't see a safety car for that, it's quite far off. Oh, we are seeing the safety car. Yeah, safety car's out.
Oh my goodness me, well this is really going to mix it up now. Safety car has come out due to that incident.
This is not what Nicky wanted to see, because now he's going to have to actually battle with Tyson for the win.
It's going to be, it's certainly going to make it interesting. Got 50, we're on lap 52 of 71, 19 laps remaining. What does Visser do? Surely he's going to come into the pits. But yes. We've already seen, look at that, the Brain is straight in the pits. So the Brain's coming in, he's going to be going onto a soft compound tyre. Visser still has to come round. He's going on to the mediums.
He may not have softs remaining, perhaps.
And he's got a penalty as well.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Perfect time to serve it during the safety car. You'd lose minimal time.
Absolutely minimal. Visser just coming round turn 8 now. Surely he's going to come in under the safety car and go on to a fresh set of soft tyres. He's only got 19 laps remaining.
I think this is going to benefit Denbrain massively.
Yeah. Massively, definitely.
Being the first to pit, all the drivers ahead of him having to do a full lap or more under these safety car conditions. I think this is going to give Denbrain a net lead, or a net gain on his position.
Well, Visser now out, and he's gone on to a set of mediums, interestingly enough. Yeah. So now he's going to regret putting 6 laps on those softs during qualifying.
Yes, indeed. And Tyson inherits the lead here. I wonder what is going through Tyson's mind now. Does he pit in? Well, if he does, he's going to lose track position. So Tyson's now going to have to go to the end on these tyres. What is going on with the...
Well, he's stopping because they're not too sure what to do. That's the
part of
problem.
him-
Tyson's thinking that Visser should get ahead of him. Visser's having to tell him, no, actually, you're the race leader now. You're ahead of me.
Yeah. Oh, I think I know what's happening. I think Stappers is involved.
Yeah, Stappers has to overtake the safety car. So he's got to come into the back.
Stappers wasn't sure if he could overtake the safety car. I think he was worried of getting black flagged instantly, so he held back, and that's what caused the confusion behind him.
Well,
and Stappers has been disqualified for ignoring the yellow flag.
I've still got him as showing though. Still on track. He's disqualified.
Yeah, I'm showing him on track as well. He's still driving around. I definitely saw it come up.
Yeah, saw it come up. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get a bit settled. This is really livened up. We've got 18 laps remaining. We've got the safety car out now on lap 53. It's not going to come in until the end of lap 55. And that means that we will have 16 laps, racing laps, with everybody up close and personal. Everybody is going to be on the softer compound, not the softer compound tyres, sorry, they're going to be on dry tyres. A number of drivers are going to be on fresh tyres, but I can see those guys that are on 15 laps, DeWitt, Van der Berg, Williamson and Tyson, they're not going to be coming in, are they?
No, they can't now, because if they do, they're going to lose all this track position. They'll drop to P9, P10. Well, it'd be P9 effectively. I think Phillips is a bit too far behind. But yeah, so now they're going to have to fight to the end with older tyres. But you've got drivers like Visser.
Sander Hermans
has actually gone for the softs. Yeah. So I think this is advantage Nicky at this moment, because he's on tyres that are much younger than Tyson ahead of him.
Well, advantage Nicky because he's obviously on the freshest set of soft medium tyres, but major advantage to Zander Hermans because he is going to be on, nicely scrubbed, hardly worn, fresh set of 3-lap old soft tyres. Thank you very much. With only 16 laps to go.
Yep, you've got to say he's potential race winner here. Yeah, he's still got some work to do. It's not going to be given to him. Got some drivers to pass, so it's not quite that he's got the drivers to pass certainly. But look, he's in P4. He's going to be up close and personal with them. Two of the drivers that he's going to have to challenge are on half-life mediums. The only real major challenge he's going to have is going to be Nicky Visser. And Nicky Visser is going to be with a handicap of being on the medium tyres. It's very true, very true. Although you have to say Nicky's pace in this race has been top-notch from start to finish. From start to lap 55 at least.
Well, yeah, that is very true. But I've got to say, I still think the advantage of those soft compound tyres.
Eddie, I think it's raining again.
Yes. I can see drops of rain. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Okay, well, I don't know what to do now. What we've just said about this advantage, I think that's going out the window.
Well, it will do. It depends how quickly it comes down. If it stays like this, they can go to the end. Certainly, it's it's just a little bit of damp. But if it starts coming down any heavier, well, my goodness me, this definitely has been a race for all seasons.
It's a funny one from the Red Bull's point of view, because you've got one driver, Nicky, who really does not want it to start raining now. And then you've got another driver, the other Red Bull driver, Boy, who really does want it to start raining now, so that everything's back on the level playing field.
And Zander Hermans, who's in fourth, who is absolutely praying to whichever god he prays to that it really doesn't start raining.
Safety car in this lap, by the way.
So safety car will be coming in. Tyson is our race leader at this moment in time. He will now dictate. He cannot overtake the safety car until it is actually in.
I thought he was coming in.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
Nicky's coming in.
Now he's coming in. Nicky coming in. Yes,
Yeah,
Nicky is in.
Nicky's in the pit.
Neil Tyson stays out of track. Nicky's going to go on to a set of intermediates. I've got to go in. I've got to go and see this. I've got to go see this.
Okay. Yeah, this is getting crazy now. Because Nicky's dropped from P1 effect. Oh, Sander Hermans is retired. We've lost Sander.
Who have we lost?
Sander Hermans. He's crashed out.
Oh my goodness me, Sander Hermans has crashed out. So that's his race over. And oh my goodness, this really has mixed it up. Nicky Visser has come out on the intermediates as I expected. Wasn't expecting anything else to happen on track. Oh dearie me, look at that. Damie Hartman into the back of the McLaren of Baz Den Brayen and then knocks into the Haas as well. Or was it the Renault?
Yeah, it was a Haas. Yeah,
it was
Peter
Haas,
Phillips
yeah.
who's a lap down.
Peter Phillips.
2 laps down. Sorry, 1 lap down. But yeah, it was the cold tyres. He didn't have the heat in the tyres, Sander. And yeah, when you go back to sort of full racing speed so quickly, yeah, you're just not going to get the traction. Especially when it starts raining as well. It just cools the track down so quickly. De Vit is leading this race. Everyone's in the pit.
Oh my goodness me. De Vit has now taken the lead of this race. Cyril De Vit in the Renault, still on those medium compound tyres. Everybody else coming into the pits. Hans van der Berg is into the pits, but he's come out on mediums.
On old mediums.
On
as
old
well.
mediums.
I think they're the same tyre he went in on, aren't they?
I think they are. I don't think he's changed anything.
Oh dear.
Harder Cooper comes out on the softs and pans it straight away. He's now blocking the exit.
Oh my God.
He's managed to get out of the way now. And he's just retiring on the side there. Harder Cooper disqualified.
Yep. I think
oh my goodness me. What has happened? What's going on?
This race is getting crazy now. It is going to be one of those races we're going to look back in 3 or 4 seasons time and think, oh yeah, do you remember that one in Austria, season 6, race 9? How crazy that was in the last
I've got to say,
20
I think
laps.
the season, was it 4 or 5, Azerbaijan?
It's season 4, Azerbaijan,
yeah.
8 retirements in after the safety car restart.
Yeah. That was just absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so we're all over the place here. Cyril De Vit has now come into the pits. Yul Tyson is now coming round and will reassume the lead of this race. So Yul Tyson is now leading this race. Boy Williamson is now in 2nd place. Cyril De Vit is in the pits in 3rd, but that's only nominal. Nicky Visser is in 3rd. Baz Den Brayen is 4th. Damie Hartman is going to be in 6th. Yes, Cyril De Vit does come out ahead of him. Okay, so the winner is Cyril De Vit. He's done well. He's moved up to P5.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Not so excellent from Nicky. I think he came in that 1 lap too early. He took a gamble, didn't he? He went on to the intermediates a lap before everyone else. I think he lost too much time on that outlap on those inters. The track wasn't really wet enough to be able to use them properly. And yeah, he's lost a good 8 or 9 seconds as a result of that. And he is now P3, actually behind his teammate.
Yeah, indeed, it definitely has not worked out at all for Nicky Visser in any way, shape or form, has it?
No. I mean, he's got a bit of a reputation, Nicky, for being a pretty unlucky driver in previous seasons.
Well, season 5 was absolutely unbelievable, let's be fair.
Yeah, it was really, really just horrible then. But yeah, I think he might. I hope he's not, but he might be back to the old Nicky, unfortunately.
Well, let's hope not. I mean, it's just. I mean, the way it's panned out, unfortunately, is there's not an awful lot you can do about it. The weather is as it is, and they are on intermediates now. The question I've got is, yes, okay, they've got 12 laps remaining, but is it actually going to get any wetter?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, it probably will.
Start snowing.
Right, okay, well, while we've got the opportunity, and let's quickly go through this. So, Yul Tyson is in P11. Then we have Mark Stappers in the Ferrari, he's P10. So just in the points there. Peter Phillips, oh, good old Peter, keep your nose clean, stay in there, pick up the points, and yet again, he's doing it again. He's in that P9 position, Peter Phillips. Hans van der Berg, he's in P8, definitely not where he wanted to be, and he definitely is not keen on seeing these wet conditions again, but he's down in P8. Then we have Guido Urshan, good solid race from Guido, got to say, he's stuck with it. He's had his fair share of incidents, I think, during this race.
Car was facing the wrong way at one point, wasn't
yeah,
it?
exactly. So he's done a great job there, maintaining that P7 place as it stands at this moment in time. Damie Hartman, though, season 5 winner. Oh, dearie me, Damie. It was looking not so good. Then it was looking good, and then it's just not looking so good again.
Yeah. A complete yo-yo driver, Damie, at the moment.
Yeah.
But, sorry, I think there's been a collision actually. Yep, half of Baz de Breen's wing is missing.
Yeah, his wing is gone. And was that trying to make a move on De Vit?
Possibly. Didn't see the impact myself, just saw the debris on the track, the yellow flag, and then cut to De Breen.
So De Breen has definitely made contacts there with somebody on track, and the only person it could have been was De Vit, who's ahead of him. He's going to have to come into the pit, so oh dearie me, Baz de Breen. Yeah, not looking so good now, unfortunately, with these conditions. Having to come into the pit and only 11 laps remaining. Well, if anyone can do it, De Breen can. Damie Hartman, he's obviously gained somewhat from that. He's now up into P5. Cyril De Vit, though, in the Renault, again, the driver that we spoke of, didn't like these wet conditions, and now it's gone back to wet conditions, and he's in P4. He's going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place, isn't he?
Yeah, just a bit. To be fair, he's doing exceptionally well for a driver who doesn't like this track or these conditions. So I think he'd be really over the moon with P4 if he can hold on to it.
Yeah, well, that's true, certainly. Then we have P3, Nicky Visser. Oh, he's been leading this race. What, 3/4 of the race? And then we've got a safety car, which sort of mucks things up a little bit, but then looks as if it's actually going to play into his hands. And then it starts to rain. So when he comes into pit, he then goes on to a set of intermediates a lap before everyone else, and it just didn't work.
It's almost as if the gods themselves just smoked him down, didn't they?
Yeah. You have been smitten, sir. So Nicky Visser is down in 3, but still good. I mean, it's still a podium finish at the end of the day, and he's leading the championship convincingly by 2 wins, effectively 50 points. Yeah.
He'll feel that this is just one that got away from him. Unfortunately, he'll feel that it's 10 points lost rather than 15 points gained. He has got the fastest lap of the race, I believe. I'll actually check that now.
Have a look at that. Boy Williamson, his teammate. He's up in P2, and I've got to say, I just went on board with Boy. You're going to love this next comment, mate. It actually does look like it's coming down a lot harder now.
Right, that's it. Can I throw in the towel?
Yeah,
literally.
I'm just going to go on board with Yul Tyson, but you can see here, it looks like it's coming down a lot harder. Even the guys on the intermediates, Yul Tyson, he's squirming a bit, and the amount of spray he's got coming off those intermediates. With 9 laps remaining, if it stays like this, we could very well see the drivers having to pit again and go on to a set of wets.
I don't think I've ever seen a race go full circle from sort of monsoon rain to intermediates to dries. And drivers use 2 sets of two different compounds of dry type, then go back onto the intermediates, and then back onto the wets again. So if you look at the race director and the tyres that drivers have used, it's like looking at a rainbow with all the different
colours. Yeah, it has been a phenomenal race, but it does look to me like the rain is coming down somewhat heavier. There is considerable spray coming off those intermediate tyres. It wouldn't surprise me if we do have to go on to the wets before the close of this race.
Yep, I would not be surprised at all.
Well, let's see how it pans out. We've got 11 drivers remaining, and what a track. I don't know what happened. Obviously, we saw John Donkel go out into the wall out of 3. Seemed to lose all, seemed to lose everything, basically. Zander Hermans went out, and sorry, Adrian, did we establish where Zander went out and what happened?
Yeah, I believe it was the turn 1, as I said, when the tyres, they just weren't up to temperature, and you know, with the fact that the rain was starting to come down, so it was cooling the track down even more. They'd just done 3 laps under the safety car, just didn't have the heat in the tyres and didn't have the grip, and unfortunately...
when they opened up, he opened up into a wall.
Absolutely.
Right,
spun at turn 1 and crashed out. Really unfortunate.
Really, really unfortunate there. But Yul Tyson started in P15, is now in P1. He's only got 7 laps remaining, and he's got 7 seconds on P2, who's Boy Williamson, under wet conditions on these intermediate tyres.
Yep. Absolutely amazing, and he's got plenty of ERS as well. Every time I look at Yul Tyson's ERS, he's sort of 80-90%, and he's setting fast laps. I don't know how he's doing it, and he's got a default setup.
I know what he's doing. He's got a couple of HP7s slipped in his race tunic there, hasn't he? That's what it is. He's got everything hooked up.
I think it must be. I don't know how he's doing these times and managing to maintain that ERS, because he's setting sort of time trial lap time without using ERS and no setup. How do you do that?
Well, if you're going to do it on any track, I've got to say, I think Austria's the one you can do it on. Yul Tyson comes over the line now, starting that 65th lap. 6 laps remaining. I've got to say, he's looking pretty strong as it stands at this moment in time.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought. I mean, I know, as I said, I know he's a fast driver. I wouldn't have thought he'd be able to, be in this position where he could potentially win this race from starting the back. As I said, without a setuut. So yeah, very well done to him.
Oh, fantastic, Joe. I'm just actually on board with Silver Vitt as well, because, great race from him as well, Silver Vitt. Just having a look here, he actually started in P10.
Mm-hmm.
So P10 is where he started. He's moved up to P4. We saw that he really didn't like those wet conditions because he fell right back. Came back, obviously, when it got dry. He's now under the wet conditions again, but he's maintaining that place.
Yeah, it's been a complete topsy-turvy race anyway. But yeah, for him, it must have been a bit of an emotional roller coaster. He's struggling in the rain, then all of a sudden he's up into P3. I think he led a lap as well at one point when all the drivers pitted in for the dries.
He did, yeah, he did indeed. He was leading for a lap. But a great race from him as well. New driver to the F1 tonight and showing his form there. 5 laps remaining. I'm just waiting for this just to get any wet. But I don't know if it is getting wet because there is still a very defined dry line there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I mean the intermediate tyres can typically run, 20% wet to 70% wet, and then there's a bit of an overlap between what the wet tyres can do. They'll go sort of 60% to fully wet, if you like, to monsoon conditions that we saw at the start of the race. Yeah. But I think it is getting wetter, but I don't know if it's going to get so wet in time for the end.
I don't think it is. Okay, so let's run through those runners and riders as they stand at this moment in time. Mark Stapper's in the Ferrari has now dropped down into P11. And he's out of the points there. Jamie Collane, the man with the broken arm, is just in the points there in P10.
Broken arm, but not a broken spirit.
No, definitely not a broken spirit. Great result considering. And we have photographic evidence. It's not just his say-so. Peter Phillips, as I said, obviously good solid race from Peter. He's picking up a couple of points there in P9. Baz Den Brian, though, he's in P8. He does not want to be there, but he's 13 seconds off the back of Hans van der Berg. And we've only got 4 laps remaining. And, you know, barring any miracle, he's going to be tough, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he did have to pit in twice in the space of 2 laps because the pit crew put the wrong tyres on his car.
Yeah.
You know, they put the medium compound tyres on when it was you know, when he come in to fit the inters, and they I think they put the same tyres on that he already had, so they didn't even touch him.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they didn't even remove them. 18-lap-old mediums. So that really has cost him the race. Hans van der Berg, in the meantime, well, he's in P7 again. Not, I think, where he wanted to be, because he was certainly, you know, doing a great challenge there, moving up through the field. He was in that. I think he was in. Well, he was P3 at one point, wasn't he?
He was, yes. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So yeah, he's down to P7. So not really gone the way that he would have planned it. He's 5 seconds off the back of Guido Urschen. Again, I think it's too tough a call at this stage of the game. Then we've got Guido Urschen. Well, he's not had the best of races with incidents, etc. But good close racing that we've seen from him. Tough race, certainly, but I think he can be happy with that P6, can't he?
Yeah, I think he can. I think the 2 safety cars helped him to sort of maintain that position, as he did have, as I said, a couple of moments earlier in this race. Had a bit of a double spin at turn 10, about the halfway point of the race. Fell right back, but fair play to him to get back to P6. You know, no matter how it happened, safety car or not, he's still there. He's still going to pick up 8 points.
Exactly, and it all contributes at the end of the day. Dami Hartmann, season 5 champion. Well, we were expecting to put a challenge on, but we weren't expecting the conditions that we've had, and it's the weather that has basically scuppered this Austrian Grand Prix for him. He's not the greatest in the way. He can deal with it, but I think he'll probably say himself that he doesn't particularly like wet conditions. He was doing okay moving up the field, certainly staying up close with his teammate, but it just hasn't worked out, has it?
No, not really. It's just not gone his way. It just hasn't come together, hasn't gelled. And I mean, I think he'll just be looking forward to the next race.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got the opportunity, obviously, to get past Sil de Wit here. I mean, he's 7/10 off the back of him. He has closed down on him. De Wit, we know, not really comfortable with these wet conditions. I mean, I think we could see Hartmann maybe move up into P4. And if he does that, obviously he'll be happier, but I don't think he's going to be happy.
Yep, I think you're right. Tyson with 3-second penalty, that's not going to cause him too much of a problem here. 10 seconds ahead.
Not at this moment in time. Sil de Wit, as we discussed, obviously he's in that P4 position, although he does have Dami Hartmann closing down on him at this moment in time. So he could well lose that and move down to P5, but even so, I think he can be proud of the race that he's delivered today, undoubtedly. Nicky Visser obviously was reading this race, as I said, for 3/4 of the race, and it just all went Pete Tong, basically, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, he did take a gamble, as I said. You know, he's
going on to those inters, yeah.
Yeah, he thought he's going to have to try and get the jump on Tyson. You know, and fair play to him. You know, to have the guts to even attempt, you know, a one lap early pit stop onto those inters in such a crazy race, and for such. There was a lot to lose. There was a lot to lose, a lot on the line there. Unfortunately, it just didn't come off for him.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess ultimately at the end of the day, I suppose it was a bit of a toss in the coin. 3 points, though, the difference that he's going to lose, and considering that he's 50 points ahead of his next best rival, who isn't really going to be scoring too highly, unfortunately, today, he's only picked up 4 points. I suppose it was a call worth making, really.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it, to be fair.
Sorry,
I mean,
Yul Tyson's now starting his 71st lap, but Boy Williamson, sorry, I do apologise. I was getting a bit panicky there. I saw 71 and I thought, oh my God. Boy Williamson, obviously, he's going to be very happy indeed, I think, picking up that P2. Again, I think it's just the gods have smiled on him today, haven't they?
Yeah, it's good to see him back up there where he belongs in my eyes, to be honest.
Well, we're riding on board now with Yule Tyson to the close of this race, and yes, you do see a Mercedes logo and a Williams car, but Yule wasn't able to make qualification, so he came in late into the race, and unfortunately this is the car he was allocated with, although he'll probably say fortunately, really, because it's delivered a P1 for him again.
Yeah, very well done. 2 in a row now. And that's 2 out of 3 as well. So very well done to Tyson.
Yule Tyson there will be picking up P1. Fantastic result from him. And Boy Williamson, he's coming across now. He'll pick up that P2. Lovely run there from Boy, and congratulations to him. And Nicky Visser.
Oh, Nicky's jumped him with the penalties. Boy had penalties.
He has. I thought. Yeah, I was just going to say, would he jump in with penalties? Because I was just looking at the 5-second gap, and he has. So Nicky Visser basically picks up that second place, and yeah, he's going to be happy. It's not going to be exactly what he wanted, but second place, not to be sniffed at.
7 points lost rather than 10. So yeah, I think he'd be pleased.
Yeah, I think he will as well, actually, to be fair. But what a race it has been! What a race it has been! I mean, all that remained was for us to go on to the full wet, and I don't think it was too far off it, to be fair.
No, I don't think it was. A few more laps than it may well have been. But yeah, don't often see as dynamic weather conditions as that. But well, credit to Tyson. Credit to all three podiums there.
Oh, definitely, yeah, absolutely.
Driver of the day, Eddie?
Well, I think it goes without saying, doesn't it, really, Adrian? I think it's a pretty straightforward one to call. Yule Tyson, definitely driver of the day, 3rd race of the league. And let us remind ourselves, in his first race, he picked up 12 points. And, well, that was P4, so just off the podium. Last week in France, he got the podium. This week here in Austria, under these very challenging conditions, he got the podium. This is a guy that we are going to have to keep a very close eye on for the rest of this season. Yeah,
absolutely. And not just the podium, but wins. He won both in France and here. So, yeah, he's definitely one to watch. You know, he's going to be up there battling for this championship at this rate.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more with you on that one. But what a absolutely fantastic race it's been. Tyson takes first, Visser second, Williamson third, De Witt 4, 5 Hartmann, 6 Hans van der Berg, 7 Urshan, 8 De Breen, 9 Peter Phillips, 10 Jamie Collane, and 11 Mark Stappers. The other drivers DNFing. Well, we have now come to the end of the Austrian Grand Prix. We hope that you have enjoyed it. We certainly have had great fun, I think, tonight for all the things that have been going on. And next week, well, I'll tell you about next week in a minute, but this following Tuesday we have F1 Tonight UK, and they will be racing here at the Red Bull Ring as they dance around the track. And that's going to be for Season 1, Race 9 of F1 Tonight UK. Starts 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time. And this time next week on Thursday, we will be in Silverstone. Yay! For the British Grand Prix of the F1 Tonight Netherlands League. So that's Season 6, Race 10, starting 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time. I think that's about it, really, isn't it, Adrian?
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much summed up there. But yeah, looking forward to that race on Tuesday.
Excellent, yeah, be a good one. Okay, so I will now bid you all a fond good night. So from me, it is good night, everybody.
Good night from me. And respect to Jamie Collane for racing that with a busted arm and picking up a point.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Good night, everyone. Take care. We'll see you soon.